Yeah, I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. Yo, grew my hair and took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. I'm with the gang, we packing. We on the field at Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Running drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii, yeah. Couple fans in the lobby, yeah. Couple grand in my pocket, yeah. Couple grams of wasabi, yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches. Wife it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
I'm just sticking to the code, I keep it so G. She asked me what I smoke, I'm smoking OG. I don't fool with too many, only catch me 4 deep. Gotta stay away from snakes, swear these people so creep. I've been grinding for a minute, many labels so asleep. These rappers drop a song, be hot for about a week. I put Gucci on my toes, I keep some cold feet. I ain't paying for no hoe, you niggas know me. I'm about to body the beat. I keep me a hottie with me. She wanna for a fee. Give me that for free. Keep me some money on me. Smoking the gas, keep. You with me, sheesh. Bonito, cheap, keep.
I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been higher than a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace, you gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience under pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. Bought my chicken and it's rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the rip and we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing yet. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How How you try and press the kid and really you was soft? All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the please. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas, you gon' see the...
Coach, what's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f*** is it? They should have had them two bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up from my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Mafia, oh God, what's some choppy price action today? We were like on a roller coaster in the premium Discord earlier, caught a nice scalp long, got stopped out of a scalp short, and I am still holding a portion of a long that we took earlier today on Ethereum, actually. So yeah, we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin here, guys. I'm going to talk about the key levels. I know the big question here is the lower high in? Are we about to get that drop down to $76,000? I'll be honest with you guys. There's not a whole lot to update here as far as Bitcoin goes. We're going to take a look at some of the alts as well, but I'm going to go over the key levels and kind of what I'm looking at specifically. I want to cover a key level that we must get above, which now has some confluence on that exact target that we must get over. And if we do get over that, I do think we could get a little bit of a push to the upside. But to be honest here, guys, the moves to the upside are going to be somewhat rough, even if we can continue up. We have a lot of resistance above us. Not only do we have a lot of resistance, we have a lot of important areas to get above if we do not want to confirm. Well, it's kind of already confirmed, but if we don't want to continuously confirm this downtrend, but we'll take a look at Market Cipher B, we'll take a look at the money flow, and I'll let you guys know where I think price is going next, and we'll show some of the trades and talk to you guys about kind of what made us look for those entries. But shout out to the Candle Mafia. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Eugene says, bottom in now, time for top LFG. Shout out to Eugene Sky. Thank you for being here, bro. We got Jim Beam himself in the chat. What is going on? Say, can you take a look at H-Bar? Yeah, we can try to take a look at H-Bar today. We're going to take a look at some of the altcoins, and shout out to the mods, guys. Tyler Durden, Rob the Crypto Snob, Chemistry Bro, Darren Does Things, Dave Digital. You guys know who they are. Show them some love in the chat. And if Rob, I'm not sure if I saw you in the... Oh, yeah, there's Rob. I'm going to do an actual alt list tonight. We'll pick a couple of altcoins from you guys. Not right now, but when it comes time, we'll have you spam some altcoins, and Rob will make a list, and we'll take a look at those. And we'll also take a look at a lot of the big boys. We got Cardano breaking above its doorway to higher prices, guys. Are we going to be able to see the continuation of that pump? We also had ETH come down to a very, very key level yesterday. And it did exactly what we wanted to see on Monday for a potential bigger pump to the upside. So I want to break that stuff down. Are we going to get the move, or are we just going to continue to dump here and keep causing pain for not only the Candle Mafia, but for the rest of the crypto investors? But shout out to Bison. What is going on? He said he was bumping the Frankie Candles intro beats in his basement. I absolutely love it, bro. Shout out to Jesse. What is going on? We got Melissa in the chat. Dan D. Nirvana. What is going on, Nirvana? Welcome in. Yes, at ADA, please. Yeah, I do want to take a look at ADA because we did take a look at it yesterday, breaking above a very key level. So I want to talk about that. Shout out to Peter in the chat. Said smash that like button, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button if you have not already. We got Gordon in the chat. Said we rejected like 10 or 15 times just today. Yes. Super choppy price action. We caught one really nice scalp long in the Discord that literally got it in there just in time before it took off right to final take profit. But then we tried to enter a short. That got stopped out for a small loss. But my Ethereum long continued to pay us out. So we'll take a look at that, guys. Hopefully, we could shed some light here. But I will say it is a very choppy market right now. Again, if you guys were out there trading earlier today, you will know it is very, very choppy and very weird. But I'll try to simplify it and give you guys the real key levels that you need to be watching. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. All right, so here we are, guys, on the Bitcoin chart. Obviously, that's where we're going to be looking at Bitcoin. But yeah, let's Market Cipher 50% off. Just putting it out there. Yeah, shout out to Asmir. Shout out to Kembro. Actually brought up that they're doing a crazy sale. So guys, go check out Market Cipher. Usually I'd say use my code, but my code gets you 20%. And apparently the sale they're doing right now gets you 50% off. So go to their website, try to find that discount if you're interested in Market Cipher B or just Market Cipher in general, which is I mainly use it for this oscillator on the bottom. It's a huge part of my analysis. So again. Don't use our link if you can get the better deal over there. But yeah, if somebody can, I think it should be on their website. But yeah, Tony D, if you could find that and drop it in the chat for everybody, that would be super helpful. So let's use Market Cipher B to try to figure out where Bitcoin is going to go next. So we have some interesting stuff popping up on the charts here, guys. I'm going to start off on the higher time frames, and then we'll work our way down here. I'm actually going to start off all the way on the weekly here. Where we have this massive, massive wick, guys, where we have this huge wick, which, could be a good thing, right? A lot of times these massive wicks to the downside could indicate a bottom is either in or close to being in. And, hopefully we see this happen, play out something like this, where you get the big wick to the downside and you kind of just continue up and then put in some new all-time highs. But we're going to go a little bit more in depth, and I'll let you guys know how likely I think that is. But VWAP on the weekly, just kind of continuing to wiggle around down here. Nothing really to write home about other than the fact that, guys, the money flow is definitely coming out here on the weekly. Now, it is really hard to just kind of say like, oh my God, it's coming out, it's going to zero. Typically, because oftentimes you can see something like this, right? During our 55% correction in May of 2021, we got the big drop to the downside. Money flow was coming out, and like even if I come over here into bar replay mode, right here, right? Money flow coming out on the weekly can look pretty bad, right? Until you just wind up getting that pop to the upside and, money flow comes back up into a bigger green wave. So, I just kind of want to show that, right? Like you can come out a bit before coming back up. So, but at the end of the day, guys, this is generally somewhat of a bearish signal, right? And again, you can't really make decisions based off this. We're just kind of using this as, money flow indicates a longer term trend, right? So when we see the money flow trending to the downside, it's just indicating that, money is leaving the asset and the downtrend may be able to continue. And, again, I'm going to point at some other things here, which could also point to that case. If you guys watched the live stream yesterday, you will know some of the key levels that I'm watching. Obviously, around $76,000, we have another really key level of support. I'll break that down all in just a second. But yeah, nothing really to take here on the weekly other than money flow continuing to come out. Like, this is not what we want to see. We do want to see a... We want to see this money flow come up, but it's going to take a lot of time to develop. But, if we come on over here, 5-day VWAP trying to come back up, 4-day VWAP. Shout out to Tony D. Thank you for that, bro. There is that discount code, guys. Not my discount code. Jason, is that supposed to be Jason Statham? But it's Jason Stratham? I don't know. But shout out to Market Cypher, guys. If you want to check it out, again, that is not our code. But if you check that out, apparently they're giving 50% off. So go check that out if you guys are looking for Market Cypher. As we continue on here, right, VWAP coming to the upside on the 4-day, 3-day printing a green dot, which is actually pretty nice to see. And, at the end of the day, guys, like, this is not bad, right? This 3-day green dot printing, money flow trying to come up desperately here. Now, we do have to be careful, of course, as always, that this is not just going to be another lower high before coming back down into a big red wave. This is what we saw happen back here in this 7-month consolidation. You can see we came down. Right, we got a little pop to the upside here on money flow. It was actually looking somewhat similar, right? It looked pretty good as money flow was aggressively coming up. But at the end of the day, that was just to roll back over and then come down, give us that bigger drop to the downside, which was the low, which, maybe we see something like that happen similarly, right? Where you get the money flow to come up and then you do wind up getting another red dot, right? And you put that lower low in. And I will talk about those key levels of support that we have down beneath us in order, if we do see that lower low come in, I'll talk to you guys about where I'm looking for that bounce. And if you tuned in yesterday, you should know where that level is sitting exactly. But, 3-day green dot printing, this is pretty good for upside long term or a medium term, I should say. 2-day VWAP is obviously above that zero line. Green dot confirmed. Money flow is not very convincing here, to be quite honest. It kind of looks like what I just explained, where it could be a lower high. But again, this is not something we're making a decision off of. We're just taking this information and, trying to add it into our analysis to give us a good idea of where price is more likely to go than not. 3-day money flow kind of looks a little bit better, but the 2-day is probably going to front run the 3-day first, right? So if money flow starts coming out on the 2-day, it is much more likely that this is going to be a lower high and a continuation down. But 3-day green dot printing, that's not horrible. When we come on over to the daily, we did get a little bit of support on the zero line here, which is nice because we were printing a red dot. It was flashing on the chart, but then it unprinted. And we got a little support here as we got that little bounce to the upside, which is pretty nice to see. But this is where things start to get a little bit confusing, guys. I know we have a mix of audience here. I know a lot of you guys are here for the key levels, the ideas for where we're looking for our next trades and some of the smaller time frame levels. But in the grand scheme of things, guys, before we jump into the local time frames and I kind of talk about what we're looking at in here, to try to predict the actual next move, I do just want to kind of talk about these higher time frames, right? Again, with our 2-day money flow, pretty much continuing to trend to the downside. Again, hopefully we can get this to pump up in a big way, but we really need this to be an aggressive pump to the upside to start breaking these lower highs, right? We have a high and then we have a lower high. So we really need money flow to come up and start breaking that downtrend, which is what I would be looking at for a potential continuation to the upside in a big way, right? Like looking for new all-time highs type stuff, right? But when we look at this from a structural standpoint, right? We've actually come down. We didn't hit this fib. We actually pulled from this fib, right? We got the loss of our range, right? And, once we broke down from this volume profile that we have up here, with the 2-day money flow coming out, with the daily money flow still coming to the downside here, right? This was our early signal all the way back here where we were looking for the continuation down. This was a big reason why we were able to predict this drop to the downside and make over 5 figures on the short positions from the premium Discord by front-running this money flow. Not front-running it, but, the money flow front-running the bigger drop to the downside. Money flow indicates longer-term trend. I know I say that every single day, but it's for a reason. It's because it works, guys. Money flow very rarely lies, and understanding that and looking back and seeing how well it's worked over here, we could use that to our advantage to try to pick up this next move. But the thing I do not like here, I'm going to go over the bearish cases and the bullish cases, but the one thing I do not like is that we have come down, we have retraced into this golden pocket and potentially put in this lower high, right? And I'm going to show you really the invalidation here in just a second. But this is the first area that we were looking at on our market update on Sunday, saying, well, hey, if we continue to push to the upside here, guys, we got to make sure that we do not reject from this local Fibonacci retracement, because if we do, and we have money flow coming out on the higher time frames, what are we going to be looking for? With money flow coming out, we're expecting the downtrend to continue, so we're looking for lower highs and lower lows to come in on the market. So where is that first best chance to put in the lower high? Simply sitting between the golden pocket and the 786. You can see we yeeted on up there and rejected that 786 perfectly to come on down, and now we are just dealing with some chop. Typically, when you put in a lower high like this, you are expecting to break structure to the downside, which again is in the cards here, and I'll bring that up in just a second, bringing us down to between 76 and maybe even 72 to $70,000. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. I'm going to give you guys the key levels of support. Don't freak out too much just yet. Today we just kind of been chopping around, right? We put in the lower high. Now we're putting in a higher low over here. But the question is, what is going to happen here? Are we going to kind of, invalidate this lower high, come back into the range and shoot up? Or are we just going to continue to break to the downside and, again, come down to those lower levels? And this is kind of what I want to talk about today. But overall, break to the downside. Lower high did come in on the fib retracement. So it is very important, guys, that we get going here, right? If we don't start getting going to the upside, it is going to look more and more likely that we could just come down and break structure. And again, based off the money flow, our general thought process here is, let's assume this money flow does not just snap back into the green. The idea here is high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Bear market. I'm just kidding. Maybe. That's the overall thought, right? Like, I do not love this lower high, especially because it was very news-driven. It's almost like they're doing it on purpose, guys. It's almost like they're purposely bringing out that bullish news just to get everybody into the market and then just dump on their heads. That's pretty much what it's looking like. So, couple of reasons why I don't like that. Now, another reason is if we pull up our main volume profile here, you could see, right? Like we tried to get back into the range. This was like really what we wanted to see was a break into this volume profile. Let me hide this box. Let me hide this fib. Really what we wanted here was to get above the value area low. Whoops. Get above that value area low and flip it to support in order to potentially come up to our POC, flip our POC, come up to the value area high, right? Looking for that full rotation of the volume profile. And again, on Sunday's market update, we were saying, this golden pocket 786 really is the level that we got to get above, right? Because, until we hold this as support and break above the 786, there is a high probability that if we're going to put in a lower high, it could come in that zone. And that's exactly where it came in at. So, at this point, guys, the biggest level to get above, in my own personal opinion, is, obviously this fib has been touched, golden pocket 786. But if we pull this, and there's going to be a confluent level here, right? We're tapping above this golden pocket currently right now. This is pulled from the local high up here. Whoops. Local high up here at about 95,226, all the way down to our swing low. So if we could get above this golden pocket, right, where are we going to be expecting price to go next? Well, we could anticipate the 786 to come in. This is also confluent with our value area low of the range. This is the first level we need to get above. Like I said, the moves to the upside, guys, are going to be really, really difficult. I'll be honest, right? Like, if we come up here, right, great. Again, I was in the long position from earlier today. Got stopped out in profit, but I am still holding an ETH long. So if Bitcoin does this, obviously Ethereum's probably going to get a move up as well. So I'm covered on that. However, on this whole move up, guys, like, we come up here, right? This is a level to flip to support. This would be great. I do think there is a good chance that we can get above that 786. This would invalidate the idea of the lower high coming in, and we could continue up to our next bigger key level, which remains exactly the same as what we've been looking at $96,611. At our macro POC, we also have a couple of other levels living in there. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull them up. What the heck happened to my anchored VWAPs in here? Hang on one second, guys. Let me go ahead and change these. I have these non-visible on certain time frames, so let me just go ahead and show those. So if we do come up here, guys, the biggest level still remains at the POC. We also have the anchored VWAP coming in here at about 97.2. And then we also have some naked daily naked point of controls up here as well, right? So, like, we have a lot of resistance above us. So on the way to the upside, right, I'm rooting for the move to the upside. However, we have to be careful, and I will be looking for shorts at many of these levels, right? Again, if we continue up, this is the biggest first level to get above. Once we flip this to support, we have a daily we have the daily naked point of control at 93,194. This would be great to get above in order to push in. But you can see here, daily naked point of control just above 95,545. And then if we push into the POC, you have the anchored VWAP and the daily naked point of control. And to add insult to injury here, or I don't want to say insult to injury, but just to add like another layer of difficulty to getting above this resistance, right? When we look at this from a full retracement standpoint from the high, whoops, let me get the fib here, from the all-time high at about 109.9 all the way to the low here. Come on, give me that bottom. You can see, right, golden pocket retracement, POC, right? It's a little different because we're on a lower time frame, but golden pocket, anchored VWAP, POC, and then again, you have all of these daily naked points of controls. We have resistance everywhere above us, right? I would say the biggest levels of resistance are really sitting, like, if I'm not covering every nitty-gritty level, guys, like even if I hide this anchored VWAP, which by the way, I am going to be looking at as key resistance, this anchored VWAP is pulled from this impulse low right here, right before we broke out and broke these highs into new all-time highs. So this is a big level, right? You can see that's basically what we rejected on the way back up. We came, we tapped it, and then we absolutely nuked. So if we do get back up there, this is going to trend down, and this is going to be another confluent area of resistance that I'm watching. However, if I just simplify this chart, right? Like, so at the end of the day, right? Like, if we want big upside, forgetting the NPOCs, just looking at our general volume profile levels, we'll forget about the anchored VWAPs. I'll even take this one off. Good news is we're still above the major anchored VWAP from the low here. We didn't lose that last night, which is great. But if we just hide all this stuff, guys, if we're looking at this from a higher time frame, technically, right, again, we could have rejected this local Fibonacci retracement, but if we go for that full golden pocket 786 retracement, at the end of the day, guys, we could, if we get the push up here, get inside the range, push up into the POC. I am definitely looking for shorts here. If we get above this level, break the golden pocket, we anticipate the 786. This is another key level of resistance. And if we're looking at this from an overall trend standpoint, right, you could easily come up, put a lower high end here to break structure to the downside if we, again, if we don't do it from this rejection. And then if we go up to the 786, I'll be honest, I will definitely be more bearish at the golden pocket POC than I am at the 786, which is typically the opposite scenario, but just in this particular case because we have a lot of resistance above us here. But once we get above this golden pocket, guys, a lot of liquidity above 100K. So once we start pushing above 100K, I think that liquidity can help shove us through that resistance into our value area high. And then at that point, from a technical standpoint, guys, if we're looking at this as an overall trend, the biggest levels to put lower highs in to continue our downtrend is either going to be the golden pocket or the overall 786, right? The full retracement from the high to the low. Right now, like from here, we rejected a local fib, right? And right here, we're rejecting another local fib. This could be the top. It's impossible to tell if this is definitely going to be the top or not. But the if this, then that is if we get back in this range, sure, that's great. Sure, that's great. We could look for a potential move into the POC. But when we push into this POC, it's just major resistance again. And another high probability area to look for a rejection, right? And then hopefully if we do get a rejection here, we can kind of just bounce off the range, get back above the POC and go to the high. But at the end of the day, right, you get up here to the POC golden pocket, big level to be looking for shorts, in my own personal opinion. We will be doing that in the premium Discord. And then once we get above that golden pocket, remember you have the liquidity above, which could cause that little squeeze to the upside. And a fast, aggressive squeeze, guys. Not just like, hey, we're pumping, we're going up, right? It's understanding where the liquidity sits and how that liquidity interacts with price, right? When you stop out those short positions, it creates market buys, right? That's what a short squeeze is. That's why price pushes up so fast when you see a short squeeze, right? A lot of times people will call it a short squeeze, a pump in the market, a short squeeze, and then you look at it and you're like, that's definitely not a short squeeze. That's just like a ton of buyers coming into the market. That's a healthy pump, right? When you see a short squeeze, oftentimes they get quickly faded. And it's important to know the difference between that. Like, I think it's so funny, like people are like, oh, the short squeeze is happening. And it's like, that's not a short squeeze. You have to understand how to look at this stuff and identify it, because you would treat a short squeeze, although short squeezes can be bullish, right? And just keep sending price, cause FOMO, and then real buying comes in and pushes price further up. But a lot of times when you see a short squeeze, right, or a quick liquidity grab, you're going to be looking for shorts, not longs, right? In the case of a pump or a short squeeze in particular, right? But if you see price coming up and there is just healthy buyers coming into the market and it's a healthy pump, you don't want to fade that move. You probably want to get on the wave and ride that in the same direction. Very important that you understand the difference between that. But if we come up here and take that liquidity above $100,000, I will be looking for the push into about 102 to 103K into that 786. Three reasons to look for that. Reasons being, once you get above the POC of the range, where are we going? Somebody put it in the chat. Where are we going if we get above the POC? The next likely place for price to go is going to be there's a delay. I'm going to wait for it. I know someone's going to say it. If you've watched the channel for more than Moon, shout out to G6 says Moon, G65. There we go. Jesse said value area low, value area high. There they come. Yes, it's 0. But yeah, once we get above that POC, guys, we are going to be looking for that value area high. That is reason number 1. Number 2 is if we get up to this POC and flip the golden pocket, where's the next place for price to likely go? The 786. Where's the 786 confluent with? Right on that value area high. So very, very likely if we start cracking above this POC, holding that support, and then number 3, you have the liquidity, right? So we start cracking up here, start breaking 99.8 to $100,000, you could see that quick pump up to the value area high. And to be quite honest with you guys, we've just been taking like low time frame scalps here, right? In the Discord earlier today, we took a little scalp long, a little scalp short. And, other than these small moves, guys, I am really waiting for these bigger levels to get hit. Like the next level that I'm truly interested in big short positions would be the golden pocket, the value area high, right? 786. Or for long positions, I'm really waiting to come down and take this low out. If we don't take that low out, sure, maybe we get a shot at a short first, right? Or we could find some local trades on higher lows in the local price action. But for the most part, guys, like this is super choppy down here. I'm going to go lower time frame and break it down for you, show some local levels, and kind of talk to you guys about how I'm handling this price action personally. But for the most part, guys, I'm pretty much sitting on my hands, right? Like we made a little bit of money today just scalping, but for the most part, I'm waiting for something like this for a bigger short, something like this for a bigger short, or something like this to take out the lows, right? Maybe we do this first, right? Maybe we come up, put in the lower low, or maybe we come up from here. I'm really not looking for bigger longs until we come down and break this low, right? Unless something presents itself in the meantime, right? Like maybe we, range around here for 2 days and then we start to reassess the situation, and then we can look for bigger longs if the setup presents itself. But for me personally, guys, for long positions, I am simply waiting for those lower levels to get hit, and I'll pull them up right now for you. Obviously, the next key level, we have liquidity. Let me actually pull this up for you guys. Bada boom, bada bing. Let me go ahead and refresh here real quick. Take a sip of that Aztecian Cactus H2O here. So let's see here. Let's pop this up full screen. Come on, right? So down here, 786 sitting at about $76,000 is what we were looking at yesterday. We also have liquidity sitting below this wick low. So again, if the high is in here, right? The lower high is in, and we're just going to keep rejecting these local fibs and continue the downtrend, right? I'm going to be looking for a push down here after we take this liquidity, push into those liquidations, into the 786. And this is really the next area I'm interested in a big swing long, right? And on the contrary, I'm not really looking at swing shorts until we come up here or come up here, right? Or, I don't, it really depends, right? Because it might not be a swing short once we get up here. But it really depends on the situation. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm waiting to come up to these bigger key levels, right? For bigger trades, or down to these bigger key levels for bigger long trades. And it is what it is, right? Like the market that we're sitting in right now, unless you're looking for small scalps like we were in the Discord, it's really just like a sit on your hands and wait game. And to be honest with you, a lot of times in a situation like this, I'm just sitting on my hands, guys. I'm watching the charts. I'm trying to plot my next move. But for the most part, I'm just waiting for the bigger moves. I'm kind of sitting here just letting things play out. And then, when I find little scalp setups, we will take them, right? We do take them. So the goal right now, I'm going to break down the local time frames, but I just wanted to cover that on the high time frames for you guys, because at the end of the day, money flow is coming out. We've potentially put in the lower high here. And, there is definitely room for downside because we have another key level down here. And we have all this liquidity that we left below, right? We came down. We were waiting for this level for so long, right? Nobody, even had a couple people saying that there's no way we could go down to 78K, 76K, whatever it is. And, the next day it just dumps, right? It's perfect, and I'll be honest with you guys, even a lot of people, I always talk about, sometimes I'm on TikTok. I don't really pay too much attention to, other than the people we interact with, I don't really pay too much attention to social media when it comes to crypto. Number one is I can read my own charts. I take my own trades. I don't ever want to be if you're too, and I recommend this for everybody else as well, don't get too stuck on the internet, right? Because, once you learn how to read the charts, if you're stuck on crypto Twitter and you're listening to all the emotional sentiment online, it could really start talking you out of your actual trading plan. And if your trading plan is based off of technical analysis, that's what you want to stick to. You don't want to listen to all the emotion. As a matter of fact, you probably want to counter trade the emotion. So, I try to stay off, crypto social media as much as possible, because I don't want to get anything put into my brain oh, these people are bearish, these people are bullish. I don't want anything to change my mind. I want to stick to my charts. And the easier I can make that for myself, the better. But the one place I do get a lot of it is on TikTok and Instagram. And tons of influencers, guys, are like, it's so crazy how like, people will be like, oh, the Bears are morons, right? The Bears are idiots. Look at this. We're pumping again, right? And then like the next day, it's just all eaten up. And it's like, I don't know, what people base these, their like sentiments on other than the charts, right? Because I'm just like terminally on the charts here. But the, it's like, you can't just see a pump and say it's bullish, right? Like you have to like think a little bit further than that. If it was that easy, right, you would just wait for green candles, buy, and make $1 billion, right? And when you're looking for a move up for a potential retracement into a lower high, like if you don't understand what market structure is or how trends work, or you're not looking at money flow, it's very easy to get super excited on these pumps, right? And if you're out there telling your friends like, oh my God, it's pumping and this is bullish, buy. You want to make sure that you're not buying into a key level of resistance where it's going to be more likely to put in a lower high and continue to the downside. It's a very dangerous situation. I see a lot of influencers out there on TikTok, at least, that are like, oh my God, we're pumping. See, the Bears are idiots. The Bulls are wrecking the Bears. And it's like, even if that were the case, you don't want to think of it like that, right? Because you're just going to be like stuck in a binary up or down situation, and that's not how you're going to make money. I can promise you that, right? Understanding both sides of the coin and then picking, no pun intended, and then just picking which side has more evidence to play out in your favor, and then just going with that thesis, right? And if that thesis is wrong, you recalculate and you can make money on the opposite direction. But like, just let that be like, especially with the news, it's like, oh my God, this is the most bullish thing ever. Crypto reserve, that's it, right? Like, sell the news is oftentimes the thing, right? So yeah, that's why you want to be aware of these key levels, right? If we get some bullish news, right, and it's like, oh my God, we're ripping, and everyone's like, that's it, guys, we're back at 97K. $500,000 income, and you have to understand that, like, hey, this is a POC, this is a golden pocket, this is an area where a lower high could potentially come in before more downside, and you want to be aware of these situations, so you're not just like listening to someone saying like, oh my God, we're pumping, this is bullish, and then you buy the top and get wrecked. You want to be able to see that stuff, and it's pretty funny when you know how to read the charts. It's like, I'll see someone say that, they'll be like, this is so bullish, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no, man. I kind of want to go in your comments and be like, be careful, guys. I never do, but that's, you got to be careful, right? So just understand, tons of resistance above. I would say once you break 100K, 102 to 103,000 is very likely. But even up here, we could be looking for short positions. And just remember, just like we said, if we come down to this golden pocket and sweep the liquidity, people are going to be calling for a bear market, but we're going to be looking for long positions. It's the same thing. What happens, right? We come down, everyone gets super bearish. We look for the longs, right? Same thing if we come back up. If we come back up here, flip that POC, come into the value area high, right? Either level that we do this at, I'm going to be looking for shorts, especially up here. We'll be looking for shorts, and everyone's going to be calling for the bull market to continue. And could it be the case? Yes, absolutely. I will have a case for that, and chances are we will be in a long position from much lower, right? We're not going to be looking to long the breakout. We're going to be long for much lower. But just understand, if we get a push up, and the reason I bring this up is because like TikTok was like rampant with, like people like being like, I guess we got the dump. I thought it was bullish because we pumped. Just be aware, right? Like if we come up here, people are going to be mega, mega bullish. And if we see bearish signs, we will be looking for shorts here. And I will sound crazy, but just understand, more often than not, the charts will completely trump the news. It will trump everyone else's sentiment, opinion, all that stuff. But if it comes up here and it looks bullish, right, we'll just simply hold longs from lower. Very likely, right? The only long I'm holding right now is on Ethereum, so I can't say I'm long on Bitcoin, even though we did have a fire entry here in the premium right on this, was it right here? Yeah, I think it was like right here on this low. Caught that nice little scalp long. I'll talk about that in just a second. But let's go lower time frame. Just understand higher time frames, guys. Big resistance between 96.5 all the way up to about 99K. And then once you start breaking that, I would expect a pretty quick rip to the upside into the value area high between 102 and 103K in confluence with the 786. And I will be looking for shorts up here, right? And I will be looking for shorts up here. Full disclosure. If we come down in a big way, I will simply be, oh my God, bear market, everyone's going to be super bearish. And again, I just showed it. Liquidity still sitting below the wick at $78,278, right? If we come down there, we could fill those liquidations very quickly, causing one of those, another one of those big panic wicks, right? But if we do see that, I would love to reclaim that 786 for a potential long back to the upside. Whether that rips us up to all-time highs or not is a little bit of a difficult question to answer until we get down there and look at what the charts are saying to us once we hit that level. But at the end of the day, I'm waiting for the bigger level here. I'm waiting for the bigger level here, and then just scalping these little moves on the inside. So now let's go lower time frame. And again, just to accompany this with money flow coming out on the daily, money flow coming out on the 2-day, doesn't look that great. So, a lot of things pointing towards that potentially being the case. with that out of the way, let's go on into the lower time frames and talk about some of these key levels that we have. So, I'm going to turn off that lower support. I'm going to turn off this anchored VWAP. Bada boom. Hang on one second. Let me just check in on the chat here. Shout out. Hey, yo, shout out to Crypto Pollo getting those 5 Frankie Candles memberships. Let's go. Shout out to Crypto Pollo. Let's get it, baby. Thank you for gifting those memberships, bro. I appreciate you so much. We got Jesse said, who hasn't smashed the like button yet? Do it now. Shout out to Jesse, our like police. And shout out to Ricardo. I like to call him Ricky. Says Solana, please. Yes, we will take a look at Solana in just a minute. Thank you guys for the super chats. And Crypto Pollo, we were talking about you yesterday. Your ears must have been ringing. Thank you for dropping those memberships. I appreciate you so much. Rumor of Trump announcing no crypto capital gains as early as this Friday. Shout out to Scott. Again, I would expect that to be some kind of a bullish catalyst, right? Maybe that gives us a move up. But again, I would be very, very careful. Here's the thing, right? With the news, in my opinion, right? This is my personal opinion. I could be wrong. I'm sure this plays out in people's favors sometimes. But at the end of the day, guys, right? Someone comes out with bullish news. I'll just say this, right? I actually had a chart like this a while back. Every single significant top on Bitcoin has been accompanied by some kind of massive bullish catalyst. And the tops that I was looking at, I should try to find the chart because I have it all labeled, but might be able to find it in the Discord, actually. This top in 2017, this top in 2019, this top in 2021, and this top in 2021 all came with massive, like I think this one was something with MasterCard. One of them was the CME futures for Bitcoin. Like a lot of, almost every single top comes in on massive bullish news. Now, it doesn't mean every bullish story that you hear or every bullish news event that happens is going to dump Bitcoin, but just keep that in mind, right? Like a lot of this stuff, price will run up into the anticipation of that news, right? And then on the news, it will dump. Buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Like the tale is old as time. But just understand that, right? Like even here, is a crypto reserve very bullish for crypto in the long term? I would say so, right? But the news runs you up and then it dumps, right? So you just have to be aware of that. And as a trader, it's a beautiful thing, right? Because you could capitalize on the move up and capitalize on the move down. We make moves whether price goes up or down. Somebody said that in the chat earlier today. So shout out to whoever said that. They were like, I don't care if we pump or dump because we're making money going both ways. Let's see. Having a bias clouds judgment because it introduces confirmation bias. Yeah, shout out to Gordon. That's why I am a 100% agnostic trader. I do not care if it pumps or dumps. Obviously, I want crypto to pump for my spot bags, but when it comes to the being just for the short-term trades, right? Like as a day trader, as a scalper, right? You have to be like very willing to accept when you're wrong, right? You don't just want to say, I think it's going to dump here and it's definitely going to go down, right? Then if it starts going up, you're going to be like, no, it'll go down eventually. It'll go down eventually. And then you're going to get wrecked, right? On a lot of your trades. You want to know where's your invalidation for the trade. Once this level is broken, I want to get out of the trade because I'm going to lose a ton of money and I want to cut that loss short and I want to let the winners ride, right? It's the name of the game. But, let's continue on here, right? So just be careful with the news, right? I'm not saying news can't pump Bitcoin, right? Obviously, the election gave us a big pump. But just understand the buy the rumor, sell the news situation is very oftentimes the case. And this is a perfect example of that, right? Everyone says, oh my God, it's so bullish. And all I'm thinking is like, hey, we're riding into heavy resistance right now. And we just had bullish news. Might get another dump to the downside, right? And that's why we made that market update looking at that first key level that we could have put the lower high in on. But let's go lower time frame. I'm going to talk about some of the key levels that we're looking at. Down here, we'll come to the, we'll start on the 1 hour. Let's pull up the local analysis, right? Actually, let's take off the Bitstamp chart. That's not what we want to look at. So number one, right now, we are interacting with our golden pocket retracement when pulled from the recent high all the way to this recent low. This is the retracement that we would be looking for, right? I think this is what we were looking at last night. If we were to see the pump continue, obviously we were bing-bonging around here during the live stream. If we were able to break out of our volume profile, flip that value area high to support. I'll pull that up right now. Right, if we were able to hold this value area high as support and get a bigger break to the upside, we will be looking for the golden pocket and the 786 to be the next targets. And here we are sitting at that golden pocket. If we flip this golden pocket, 786 is going to be the next target. This is a huge target locally. Why is that? Well, very simply, if we're going to continue the downtrend, the lower high is likely to come in at the golden pocket or the 786, right? Similar to this lower high. It came in right between the golden pocket and 786 and it dumped, right? So if we're going to look for the continuation of this local downtrend, we're looking at this as key resistance. We're tapping it right now, trying to get above. If we're able to hold this as support, I'm looking to come up towards about $92,300 into our macro value area low. This now brings us into a very, very key higher time frame level that we must get above. And like I said, I wish I could, typically in normal market conditions, not in this wonky whipsaw like garbage chop, I would be very, very bullish if we could get above this value area low, and I'd be like, hey guys, if we hold above that value area low, I'm looking for the POC. Get above that POC, I'm looking to the value area high. And this is definitely, if this plays out as a typical volume profile, this is what we could potentially expect. But with the higher time frame money flow and with all the key levels of resistance, specifically the macro golden pocket and the macro 786 being very key levels of resistance, we have to be very careful on the way up. Not to mention all of those daily naked points of controls, like littered all the way up through here. So that could be the case, but we have to be very, very cautious, right? Because we have all of that resistance. And again, the golden pocket and 786 are the last big levels where we could put in macro lower highs before seeing a massive dump to the downside. And especially if you're falling in the camp of like the bear market being in, if we get up to this golden pocket 786, this better be, if you think the top is in, right, this better be your biggest levels to be looking for shorts at, right? And if you think the bear market's in 100%, because like a lot of people, especially, online, like a lot of people will be like, the bear market's in, you're an idiot if you think it's going back up. Well, in that case, if we get up here, you better be shorting the farm. Right, and I will be looking to short. I won't be looking to short the farm because I don't know if the bull market's over. I personally don't think it is, but I definitely also don't know that for a fact. Right, nobody does, and I think I'm the only person who's honest about that on the internet. I think people think if you have a YouTube channel, you know something they don't know. You might be good at TA, you might have a lot of information, but some people like to act like they have like a secret thing. Like, it's not the case. Nobody has a secret thing. I promise you. But anyway, once we get up to the 786, that's a big level to get above, right? Not only is it an area where we could put the lower high in, but if we can flip that to support, I do think there's a good chance we could, come up and at least revisit these highs. And hopefully, right, based off the volume profile, traditionally, we would look to at least get into the POC. Flip the value area low. Next likely place for price to go is that POC coming in at $96,611. Flip that to support. Look into the golden pocket, ending at about 98.8. And then at that point, you're getting very close to that liquidity, which could help you, right? And again, I am looking for shorts up here, but if we could squeeze out there, 786 is very likely. So it's basically a volume profile play if you could get above that key level. So biggest level and most important level right now is the value area low 786 at about 92.3, right? Get above that, we could potentially push a little bit higher. Just be very careful. Tons of resistance. And again, I hate to give like a million different levels to you guys, but the daily naked, technically there's a daily naked point of control up here. So like technically you want to get above that too. And then you don't have a lot of room to run until you hit the next NPOC. So like, again, like the theory is get above the value area low, start your journey to the POC, but you have to understand that these resistance levels are here. And there's just a lot of them. It's not very often that you have like this many daily naked points of control so close to each other. So yeah, like maybe I would like to clean some of these up, but like they're all valid, right? Like I even checked EXO charts earlier today. I'm like, am I looking, like I have old MPOCs on the chart or something? Why are there so many? They're there, right? So keep that in mind. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. Hopefully we can hold the golden pocket, push up to the 786, 92.3, 92.2. That's really the level that I'm looking at. Get above that. That opens up the possibility of getting up to the macro POC at 96,650. And then that is our next major level of resistance. Now, we will be looking for scalp shorts here in the premium, whether it's on this golden pocket retracement, maybe a sweep of liquidity of one of these highs up here. You do have the daily naked point of control. So I'm just going to continue to scalp the trades, jumping in, jumping out, getting a quick cash grab and leaving the market, not being greedy. Shout out to the premium Discord. We were in here looking at a long setup earlier today. I got this in literally just in time. Like, I've taken a scalp long here, guys. Again, this is not a signals group, but I just let people know what I'm doing. I share my trade setups, but at this point, I took a aggressive entry here as we were coming into a very key level of support, which was just a golden pocket 786. It was also an anchored VWAP that, obviously does offer a lot of really good support more often than not. Jumped in here looking to come up to the golden pocket 786, and very, very quickly, literally minutes. And then I, kind of explained, I had a lot of questions on how we work in the premium Discord. Typically we have the setups on the chart before we even get to the level. In this case, it was a little bit more of like a live entry. So I entered, right? And then I dropped in. I tried to get this in as quick as possible and then dropped the information on exactly why I entered, dropped a little explanation, and then it started playing out. Let's go. We got so close. And then we kept pushing into the first target, which was the golden pocket. snipe that one, and then finally it smashed that final TP, right? So we're just, but we're not, if this keeps running and you're able to hold that with your stop loss in profit or stop loss at break even with profits locked in, then you let that winner run. But at the end of the day, guys, it's jump in, jump out for me on these little scalps until we get to those bigger levels I mentioned a little bit earlier. And then we caught a nice little scalp short here. I actually got stopped out at a small loss on this one, but they saw the signals, right? Dropped another one. I'm going to hedge it with a short here, guys. I'm hedging the long with a short. I took a long on Ethereum and Bitcoin. My Bitcoin trade was closed in profit. My ETH long is still open. But then we caught another little short off some specific signals here, and then got the instant dump. And it was like, oh my God, this is so good. And then we wound up. I wound up. Shout out Joey Diaz. But then I wound up getting stopped out on that, and I was like, I'm not going to get greedy here, guys. I'm just going to hold my ETH long, and if the short gets stopped out, then it is what it is. It did get stopped out, and we'll see if the long can continue to run. But at this point, we pump, we dump. If it pumps, great. Long continues to pay us out. If it comes down without me in a short, that's totally fine. I'm just getting out of the chop here and waiting for those bigger key levels. But other than that, guys, these are the key levels that we're looking at. Get above that golden pocket. Maybe we can see that happen. I'm going to set an alert here in case we hit this while we're looking at the other charts. But I'm going to see if we put an alert here, hold above the golden pocket, see if we can push up here to the 786 value area low. And then, if you get a bigger move to the downside, we do still have this volume profile down below. Value area high at 86,487. POC sitting at 84,750. And then the value area low, daily naked point of control down here would be a nice level to watch if we do get, if you do come down here, break down into the range, back to the POC, back to the low. This would be another area where I would look for some scalps. But other than that, caught some nice money today. I'm going to sit in the trades that I'm holding and just let things play out. Now, from a market cipher perspective, I will say this, guys. Looking at the lower time frames here on market cipher, it's a little mixed. It's a little mixed, right? Because your 4-hour VWAP is, attempting to come down here, right? And then you take a look at some of these lower time frames. Take a look at the 15-minute. Yeah, money flow is actually coming back up here on the 15-minute, but yeah, it's really chopped up. I will say this, 45-minute money flow crossing over into the green. This looks pretty nice. This was actually 45-minute green dot was part of the reason why we anticipated our long to play out. I'm not going to explain that in detail just to save time here, but 1 hour money flow crossing over into the green, 90-minute kind of chopped up. Yeah, the money flow here, like even the 3-hour money flow being in the green, the 2-hour money flow being in the green, like even the 4-hour looking to come up here as well. Like this doesn't look bad. I just don't like that it's not very confluent with anything else, right? Like sure, you have the 45-minute money flow crossing over into the green, but typically this indicates much more upside if, right, this would make us anticipate, at least in the context of the 45-minute, a continuation of the uptrend. That would be great for the longs. But typically we like to see that with a freshly confirmed 12-hour green dot. And this 12-hour green dot confirmed a while ago, right? Almost 12 hours ago. So yeah, like 11 and a half hours ago, this did actually confirm. So we don't really have that market cipher B116 strategy playing out. But at the end of the day, the 45-minute money flow is coming up. But it's just not something that I feel very strongly in one way or the other. If I had more confirmation, I'd feel a little bit better. But we'll just see. I'm playing it level to level. And yeah, local scalps, these are the levels I'm looking at. Get above the 786. That's your first big level to get above to see if we can get to that macro POC. Other than that, I'll be honest, guys, it's a super choppy market. Be careful out there. I'm just really waiting for the bigger levels for the bigger trades. Let's see. Are we going to dump? No, we're going to pump. Shout out to Istaphobic. I hope so. I really do hope so. We'll see. Shout out to Istaphobic. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Hopefully your super chat. Actually, refund him, Tony. Refund him his super chat so we can put that money into Bitcoin to pump it. Shout out to Istaphobic. Let's see. Any chance we can look at Ondo? Yeah, we could try to take a look at Ondo. Actually, we're going to take a look at the altcoins right now, guys. So if you want to see your favorite alts, go ahead and drop them in the chat right now. Rob the Crypto Sample, count up the votes and let us know what we're looking at. And I'm going to call Mrs. Candles to bring me a drink other than water. Mrs. Candles! She's going to leave me, guys. She's going to leave me. She's like, when I signed up to be with you, I did not sign up to be with Frankie Candles getting screamed at on a live stream. Pepe, Ada, Mrs. Candles! She's taking a bath or something? Huh. I don't know if I'm getting my drink today, guys. Mrs. Candles! I'm going to get kicked out of my neighborhood, guys, I swear. Let's see. Are you gonna ask her to marry you? Stay tuned. In 5 minutes. I'm just kidding. That was a troll. Let's see. Yeah, there's a way to keep or put a ring on it. Let's go. It's going to be a Bitcoin ring. It's going to be a ledger ring. Let's see. Kick that man out. Get him out of here. But yeah, drop those alts in the chat. HOA about to violate you. HOAs can literally disappear off the face of the earth. HOAs are hilarious. I hope my HOA sees this somehow. I hate HOAs. I like it. Everyone takes care of their property. It's all nice. Like, I get the point of an HOA, but like, if you're going to fine me because I walked out of my house with an untied shoelace, then, get lost. Literally. Disappear. All right, let's. HOAs are horrible. And apparently, I used to think it was funny when we moved to a neighborhood with an HOA. I was like, send me a fine. Like, go ahead, give me a ticket for my grass or whatever it is. And I told Mrs. Candles, I was like, what are they gonna do? They can't kick us out. Like, what are they gonna do? Apparently, they have like legal ties, and they could put like liens on your house and stuff if you violate the HOA and don't pay the bills. Absurd. But anyway, I guess it is what it is. But let's go ahead and continue. Those are the worst. Yeah, literally. We don't have those in New York. It's in New York. It's like you wouldn't dare go knock on somebody's door and tell them to cut their lawn in New York. It's like, mind your own business. Out here, they're just like, excuse me, sir. You walked out of your house and you waved to your neighbor. That's a $300 fine. Nerds. Anyway, I'm just kidding, guys. But let's see. I'm actually not kidding. I do hate HOAs. But that's no hate to any HOA presidents out there. Maybe take that time to learn how to trade. Probably better use of time. But anyway, all right. I'm done hating on HOAs, guys. I'm done. All right. Let's continue on here. All right. So on Ethereum, I am long on ETH right now. Here we are. Getting a little pop ski to the upside. Let's drag it on over. There we are. Up about 1,300. Took this earlier today. I actually don't. This is actually the Bitcoin chart, but up 1,300 on the ETH long. I actually don't have the best entry on this, but we were long on Bitcoin. I was long on ETH. My Bitcoin long got stopped out before it continued to pump, but I am still holding that Ethereum long. So we'll see what happens here. Like I said, guys, when we looked at Ethereum yesterday, obviously we did have a very, very we saw exactly what we looked at, right? 2 days ago, we saw the bounce, we got the dump, and we were talking about how, like, specifically, I even played the clip last night on the live stream, right? If we could come down here and sweep these lows, right? We got the push into the value area low with beautiful bullish divergences. It gave us a nice pump to the upside, but then once we ate it back up, like, even when we were getting this bounce, it's like, we bounce off the value area low. That's nice, right? That's nice. I don't hate that, right? But at the end of the day, we left all this liquidity down here, and I'll be honest, it was a little personal for me because we have been waiting for this liquidity below $2,000 to get hit for over a month, right? Since like February 4th, we've been waiting for that liquidity to get swept. And we just come to the value area low, front run the liquidity, front run the naked point of control, and we just pump. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, dang, like, you actually had a nice long setup here as well. You put in some nice bullish divergences here on the 1 hour and some other time frames as well. Down here. You had some nice, not on the 1 hour here, but came in down toward the value area low, right? You got some bull divs on the 45-minute. Like, even some of these higher time frames, you had the, I believe you had, where was it? There was some really nice bull divs that were, I guess it was lower time frame on this setup. Yeah, you had some lower time frame bull divs into the key level, right? Especially like locally as you're interacting with that key level, right? Which again is the value area low, your key level of support that you do not want to be FOMO shorting, right? You want to be looking for longs as price approaches those value area lows, right? Lower lows on your price, higher lows on your momentum waves, money flow creeping to the upside, and then boom, you get the bigger pump to the upside. But as that happens, I'm thinking to myself, like, that's a little personal for me because I've been waiting for that dang liquidity to get swept for so long, and you're going to tell me that you're just going to rip from here and you're not going to go grab that liquidity. And then finally, we grabbed that liquidity just as we wanted to see. We tapped the naked point of control. We got back into the value area low. And like we were saying yesterday, this is a better chance than any to see Ethereum potentially get a little bit more of a move to the upside. So I am going to hold this trade. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't really have the best entry here, but if we do continue up, the big levels of resistance that I will be watching are going to be sitting right here between the POC and the golden pocket retracement. Bada boom, bada bing. Right, sitting between 23.19 and 23.60. So if we continue up here, break the highs, take these out, push up into this zone. That is what I'm going to be looking for next. Will we make it there? Again, it's very choppy right now, right? It is a very, very choppy market. We don't have any bearish divergences here on the 45-minute. We could check the 15-minute. You had a little bearish divergence here. very slight, right? You had a higher highs on your price action, lower highs on your momentum waves, but now that green dot on the 15-minute is printing. So just super choppy locally here, guys. But that doesn't mean that we can't jump in and grab some money on the scalps, which we have. But it is just a it's just really choppy right now, right? So we'll take the money if it gives it to us. And next target for me personally, like we could check even this local fib, right? Yeah, 786 right here at about 2248, 2250 is the next like hyper local target. But once we break above that, I'd be looking up here towards that POC, if we're being quite honest. So, take a look at some of the market cipher B signals here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, all day, even on our scalp long, I was a little sketched out on the scalp long on Bitcoin that we took, and the Ethereum one as well, just because the 3-hour and the 4-hour VWAPs were coming down. And on top of that, at the moment when those VWAPs were coming down, we also had money flow coming out on the 15-minute, which could have been a market cipher B 1/16 strategy for a bigger move to the downside. But luckily, we just kept pushing up. But yeah, just goes to show it's just kind of a choppy environment. I saw a couple people even saying that in the chat. Like, just be careful out there, guys. Like, this is kind of, unless you're entering in at key levels of support. Like right now, if I were looking for a trade on ETH, like I wouldn't be interested at this point until we came up to the next, significant fib retracement, which is sitting, again, right here between 23.19 and 23.60, 786 sitting up at about 24.33. So that's pretty much what I'd be looking at as far as the next move on Ethereum. But it would be nice, right? Like, we've come down, we've swept the liquidity, right? I don't have the heat map pulled up for ETH, but we did sweep the liquidity perfectly. Actually, probably pull it up in the Discord here. Where is it? It was all the way back here. What is this? February 6th, right? Before we came anywhere near this level. This is really how we do the premium Discord, guys, for the most part, right? We find those setups before price gets to them. We have to be very patient, and then we wait for price. And you can see here, all the way back a month ago, hoping to come down here and sweep those lows into about 1945, sweep those lows, get that liquidity that we did have sitting down there. And it took a month, but we wound up coming down, sweeping those lows, and you can see that setup was triggered, right? And we did, that's what I wanted to show, was the beautiful sweep of liquidity. Just come on down there, boop, and then send it back to the upside. So hopefully we can continue to play that out. But for the most part, that's the next key level of resistance above for Ethereum. And then again, 786 at about 2430, right? Or 2432. If we come back to the downside, obviously your key levels of resistance or support are going to be, let's be honest, monthly naked point of control. I'm going to keep it here. I'm going to label it as tapped because it's not as significant if it's tapped, in my opinion. Hey, shout out to Rob the Crypto Stop. Thank you for the alt list, my friend. I appreciate you so much. And I am going to be also, going to take a look at some of the bigger. We'll take a look at Solana. We'll take a look at XRP. I'll take a look at the big boys for you guys because I know you love to see it. Let's see. Shout out to Eugene Sky says it will be once we have our top at 180K. Hopefully we can make it up to 180K. Let's see. Hey, shout out to Capital. I'm not even going to try the first name, brother. I apologize. But shout out to Capital. Thank you for the super chat. Said I joined late. Might have missed this. But if we assume this is the onset of a bear market, my analysis calls for a 35K bottom. Where would you estimate the bottom of a potential bear market to be? Shout out to Capital. I will answer that question once we wrap up ETH here. I'll show you guys a quick little way that I'd like to do that. But yeah, we'll see. Probably pretty close to 35K if I had to guess, right? And I'll show you exactly how I do that in just a minute. But yeah, this is what we're looking at for Ethereum, guys. As far as market cipher goes, I guess, yeah. Taking a look at the daily here. Daily green dot is printing. That is not a bad sign, right? And we got a red dot, right? This could be a potential VWAP flip. This would be beautiful. Send this thing to the moon right now, please, for the love of God. And then let's check that 90-minute. 90-minute money flow has been in the green here. Yeah, 90-minute money flow has been in the green. Let's check the 80-minute crossing over into the green. Yeah, 1 hour money flow. Let's check that 16-hour. Yeah, I just don't love that these, sure, we have the green dot on the 16-hour with the 1 hour money flow crossover into the green. I'll be honest, guys, right? Like, just generally money flow coming up on these time frames typically does give you some kind of a continuation up, right? Like, you just back test this until your heart's content, right? Like, even if it's a small rise to the upside. Money flow crosses into the green, higher lows, higher highs, right? And you continue to the upside, right? Money flow crosses over into the red, and you get the continuation of the downtrend. Pretty simple. So, from that perspective, sure, money flow coming up on the 1 hour is nice for a continuation into this golden pocket potentially, and hopefully beyond. But we have to look at this as, that 16-hour green dot. I like to see the 1 hour money flow crossover with the 16-hour green dot at the same time. These are not happening at the same time, right? Like if I mark off this actual money flow crossover, which happened right here, you can see, it's pretty close. Right? It's pretty close, but it did happen after that green dot confirmed, and it was a bit after the green dot confirmed as well, right? This is pretty much confirmed 16 hours ago, right? So, it is there. It's just not the most beautiful thing. I really like to catch that money flow crossover as the green dot is printing, right? AKA before the next candle prints. But we'll see. We're pushing up right now. Maybe we could get that push. We'll put an alert here as well in case we start breaking these prices, and we'll get alerted to see that come up. And let's see. Up almost $2,000 on the long now. Not too shabby. Can't complain. Over on FEMAX. Can't complain. So we'll see. Actually made a good bit of money today on the little scalps, including this. There we go. Up over 2K now. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Keep pumping it, baby. Pump this thing. Let's get it. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. But yeah, shout out to Capital. Let me answer that question really quick. Bottom can't Eugene says bottom can't be below Sailor's average price at 62K. But yeah, let me just kind of talk about what I would be looking at. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Said, oh my God, are you still waiting for a delicious Celsius and some lemon water? Nice haircut. About time. Shout out to Creighton C. Let's go, baby. Welcome in. And I did get a new haircut, guys. I did get a new haircut. Cue ball bald. But I'm not going to show it because ETH has not proven to not make an all-time high yet. I'm just kidding. I'm not bald, guys. But my hair is probably crazy right now. But anyway, let me see. Shaken, not stirred. Shout out to Hollywood. But yeah, shout out to Creighton. Yeah, hopefully I can get some Mrs. Candles. Nah. And in the red corner. Okay, but really quickly, let me just talk about potential bear market situations here, right? And there we go. Are we gonna make a move up to that 786? Do it live, baby. Do it live. Come on, Bitcoin, you could do it. But just talking about this real quick, guys. For all-time lows, right? Right, for a potential bear market. Typically, right, if you go by like what has traditionally happened, right, obviously these moves are going to get less and less severe over time. Let me actually pull this up on a clean chart. Bada boom. So yeah, if you're taking this from like a general standpoint of like what has happened in the past, right, over here you had about, over here you had about a 86% dump. This was obviously back in 2013. There was a much different market back then. And then in 2018 we had an 84% dump. Right, and then, these are kind of rough just because I'm so zoomed out here. And then about a 76 to a 77% dump. So, we can assume maybe, obviously it gets less and less over time. So let's say a 70 to 75% dump from the top. Where would this bring us down to? Let's see, 70... Yeah, 77 would bring us down to like 25K. A 70% correction, 72% correction. I would probably say between like 35 and 30K, right? Like if this was the top, right? Because you have to understand with the maturization, I don't even know if that's a real word, but as the asset class matures, guys, the dumps and the pumps are going to get less and less severe. So 83% in 2017. And this, I think it was like 76, 77. So 77%. So, you could do the math, right? Like you could do the math of like what that difference is or what the average of all these are, right? So 83, 77. Yeah, so let's say like a 70-ish% dump to the downside, 75. Yeah, I would probably be looking down towards about, I would say about 35 to 30K. Now, another thing here is, if we were to pull some key levels, 35K, right? We have a macro 786. And then if we were, just see, right? 30K also brings you, whoops, I pulled that too far. 30K also brings you just into our value area low of the macro range. And then 30 feet, I would probably say, I'm just going to say it here. Somebody clip it. It's going to be a long time before we know if this is right. But assuming that 109 to 110K is the top, 109.9 is the top, I would anticipate the bear market to bring us somewhere down here, right? Because you have your POC of that previous range at about 35, and then the value area low at about 28. So, maybe it's like you bottom out and then you go one more tap to the value area low, right? So, if it does, this is very speculative. Come down, bounce off the POC, and then one more flash dump into the value area low. Like, impossible to predict this accurately right now. But, that's kind of what I would look at. I mean, you have some real key levels down there. 786 is confluent with that level as well. So that would be the zone. We'll see. If we could go back years and just be like, wow, we called the bottom of the bear market all the way in 2025. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I would look for. But, it really depends. This would mean that the 109K was the absolute top. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, that's kind of how I would do it, right? Like, just kind of estimate. That's how we did it here, right? We said, well, hey, maybe we come down. Like, here, my thought process was come back down, retest the all-time high. But if we did that here, right, like that's only a 37% dump, right? Like we're almost at that, right? We've almost already gotten that. So I wouldn't consider that a full bear market. So, but that's what we did last cycle, right? Looking for a retest of the all-time high with a potential slip below. Almost played out exactly what we were looking for here. But yeah, very speculative. We'll have to see what happens. But that's kind of what I would do at kind of first glance. That's what I would look at. Let's see. Shout out to Mike said, hey, Frankie, first time listening. Love your insight on crypto. Wanted to get your thoughts on VeChain. It looks like it's about to go crazy. Yeah, we could try to take a look at VeChain. If we have time, I'll try to take a look at VeChain. I'm going to get through the list. I also want to take a look at some of the big boys here. One thing I do want to point out, guys, the DXY is absolutely nuking here, which is supposed to be bullish, right? Like that's this is another thing that we can look at. Taking a look at the daily here on the DXY as well, right? Like money flow coming out on the daily. This is somewhat of a good sign. We're getting a pretty heavy dump on the DXY. Is this traditionally going to be a pretty decent sign for crypto, right? Every time, typically when we get the dump on the DXY, it's usually good for risk on assets. So, this is also, especially with the money flow coming out, even though we didn't get too big of a reaction off of this just yet, money flow coming out could be pretty nice to see for the DXY. If we can get that crossover into the red and get this thing to really dump down, maybe we could start to see a little bit of a pump to the upside and maybe a dang alt season at some point. But yeah, I did just want to point that out. The SPY, back below its value area. This is we don't look at this very often, but this is what we were looking at most recently as we were approaching this value area high. Got the dump. Now we're back. Actually, no, we've been looking at this since we deviated below, got the push back up, and we're basically just rotating this volume profile. And now we're back down below. We get back up in here. Get the SPY to pump again to the high of the range. That would be very, very nice. Could also be very good for the risk on assets as well. And then, daily green dot also looking to print. So maybe we can get a green day in the stock market tomorrow, and it can help drag Bitcoin and hopefully Ethereum up as well. Let's see. Shout out to Wick589 in the chat. What is going on, bro? Welcome in. Said, I'll squeeze y'all a cup of moss water and give y'all the pasta sauce. Shout out to Wick589. Freshly squeezed Aztecian cactus moss water. I love it, baby. I love it. All right, so let's see here. We took a look at Ethereum. Let me turn off Heikenashis. We took a look at Ethereum. We took a look at Bitcoin. We took a look at DXY, SPY. Let's take a look at Solana. So not really a big update on Solana, to be honest with you guys. I know a lot of people want to see this. We're just still bing-bonging around in the range, right? At the end of the day, based off the volume profiles, we've deviated above, got accepted back into the range, beautiful bearish retest, and then we get to move down to the POC. And right now, we're kind of just clinging to this POC, right? So I would say, 45-minute money flow crossing over into the green doesn't look that bad. 12-hour green dot looks like it may want to print here. So, hopefully we don't see the full fill of this range. From a volume profile perspective, I will say, come on, get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, so from a volume profile perspective, right, like we do like to see the full fill, right? You come on down to the low. It's the same thing as back here, right? We bounced in. It's exactly what we looked at. Get stuck inside the range, go to the POC, reject. Once you can't get above that POC, next likely stop is the value area low. This is why I don't like longing in the middle of the range. I would much rather come down to the value area low because it's much more likely to see that drop into the value area low. And then you go from the low into the POC, flip the POC up to the high, deviate above the high, back into the range, back to the POC. And, I would prefer to see a full rotation of the range before seeing a bigger move up. But the reason why I do think that maybe there is a shot, now again, this isn't something I'm necessarily betting on, but with your 45-minute money flow crossing over into the green, your 12-hour green dot looking to print, 16-hour green dot also looking to print, with your 1-hour money flow coming up. So, maybe that looks good. I would take those with a grain of salt as of right now. But if we pull our fibs here, let's go from the low all the way up to the high. If we can get above this golden pocket, maybe we hold that 786. I mean, I really don't even love it. I really don't even like that, to be honest. I tend to stick to the volume profile. So for me, this isn't really a long on Solana for me. It doesn't mean that you can't come back up here to your key levels on the Golden Pocket 786 value area high, which, by the way, sits at about 161.19 to 169.58. Hold above the POC. You could run back up there. But at the end of the day, I would rather take my longs down at the low, right? So if I didn't long up here for this move, or I didn't short up here for this move, I'd be sitting on my hands for Solana, waiting for it to come back down to the value area low or into the Golden Pocket 786, where you could then look for potential short opportunities to come back into the range and then fill that in full. Just to show the volume profiles, get in, POC value area low. Hit the low, POC value area high. Deviate, back in, POC value area low is what you would expect. But again, I would be sitting on my hands. If we don't come down here, there's no long for me. If we don't come up here, there's no short for me. Simply put. Let's see. Everyone seems to think it's got pasta sauce on it. Isn't that just ketchup? Whoa. Shout out to Wick589. I'll tell you what, all the pasta sauce in the ATL is ketchup. It's pretty brutal, I'm not going to lie. New all-time high this weekend. Shout out to Evolutions. I hope so. All right, let's take a look at let's take a look at Cardano, guys, because yesterday we were looking at something on Cardano, and we may be seeing it come to fruition here. Hopefully, right? So yesterday we were looking at Cardano approaching, what was yesterday? Yesterday was the 4th. Yeah, we were approaching into this value area low, right, which is a doorway to higher prices, right? This is exactly what we were looking at. But you got to be careful, because if you are coming into a value area low, we know this is going to be resistance until proven otherwise. Lower highs on your momentum waves, higher highs on your price action. There are your bearish divergences, giving you another cool off. And shout out to anyone who watched the stream last night, because what we were talking about here was, if you do get a pullback, you may be able to look at this as some kind of a volume profile, right? And you can wait for a move down to your the value area low of the profile to potentially look for long positions. Now, I was not looking at Cardano specifically last night, but I bet you did have a nice little long entry here at the value area low. This is why you do not want to miss these live streams, guys. I don't give the exact setups like we do in the premium. However, you can get some fire sauce here. Yeah, I mean, there you go, right? Lower lows on your price action into your key level of support, which is the value area low. Higher lows on your momentum waves, giving you that bullish divergence. Go back to the POC, flip that POC, go up to the value area high. And then once, right now, instead of longing into resistance, right? So literally exactly what we looked at. Instead of longing into resistance, guys, you can now have a nice entry at the low. And if price decides to get accepted into your value area low, right, the doorway to higher prices, at least you're not longing here into resistance, right? Because if you longed here on the breakout in here, right, into the value area, right, you're long here, stopped out, right? You're long here, stopped out, right? Why would you want to do that, right? Why not just wait for the fire setup, right? Wait for a push into your value area low with bullish divergences, right? You would, probably be looking for other stuff as well. You don't want to just long bullish divergences, but hey, long and bull divs into a value area low is going to be higher probability than just long and random bull divs. But at this point, you have a nice low entry point. And by the time you're up here knocking on the door, you're already massively in profit. You could take some profit off the table, move your stop loss to break even for a guaranteed winning trade. And then if you do wind up continuing up, which is exactly what happened, you would have caught this nice 12% move to the upside, which is pretty nice. This happened at 1 a.m. for me, right? So I obviously did not see that. But, that is, I just want to bring that up because when we look at the doorways to higher prices, right? Like, sure, the problem, sure, you could long here as you enter into the value area and just hope that that's where you stick and come up to the POC. But it's just a much better situation to enter in down at the lows. You have to be patient to wait for the good entries. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at on Cardano. We're back above the doorway to higher prices, which is really nice. And you can see once you get accepted in here, you do get the big push up. You get accepted in, you flip it to support. Look how beautifully you flip this level to support. Boop, push to the upside. So hopefully we can continue to hold support up here. Let me check the higher time frames really quick. See, 4-hour red dot. About to print. No bearish divergence. Money flow crossing over into the green. So, yeah, I mean, again, they're not the perfect setups, but you're above your doorway to higher prices. Right? If you could hold up here and this 4-hour red dot doesn't absolutely dump you down, could potentially look for, key levels. POC sitting at $1.07, value area high. Flip that POC, look for the value area high at about $1.16. That's assuming that your money flow comes into the green, stays in a big green wave, right? And you stay above the value area low. That's the roadmap of what I'd be looking at for Cardano. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour money flow crossover. Again, 16-hour green dot's been confirmed, so I don't really love that as a 116 setup, but it is there. 45-minute money flow in the green. So yeah, I mean your key levels here very clear. 95 cent value area low. Stay above that. I'd be targeting potentially up here towards that POC, and then the value area high once you flip that. If you come back to the downside, I would probably yeah, I mean, if you come to the downside, your key level is 95 cents. If you break down below that, you could always, re-pull your range here, right? You have this range here. I know it's right underneath the macro range, but you could pull that, right? If you start losing your value area low, right, you can look to get accepted back into the range, back to the POC, back down to the low, and maybe if you have a setup here, you can take another shot, and hopefully that time it's the one that pushes you to the POC. But that's something you're looking at for the most part, right? Like you would just hope that you could hold above this value area low and send this thing to the POC. So there you go. I mean, medium time, 4-hour money flow, 3-hour money flow, all coming up here. You have low time frame money flow coming out, but that's, the 5 minute, right? That could just give you a little trend down before coming back up. So I don't hate that 4-hour money flow coming up. Let's see. I really think we'll have crazy price action on Friday. I hope so. Hopefully we gets us out of this chop. Which trading app do you use, and which indicators is this TradingView? Yes, this is TradingView. This is Market Cipher B, which apparently they're doing a 50% off sale. They dropped the code. I think it's Jason Stratham, I think is the code. But if you go to their website, I'm sure you'll see the deal. It's not my deal. I have a deal as well, but theirs is more. So go use that deal and make save some more money. But yeah, Market Cipher B and TradingView and volume profiles also very important. All take time to learn though. Let's see. Silk said got a package for you. Shout out to Silk. Are you being for real? If you have a package for us, we might have somewhere for you to send it, actually. Let's see. Does ETH retest $2,000 level again? Shout out to Shubam. Shout out to you, bro. Does ETH test 2,000 again? I mean, hard to say, right? I don't know, right? It could. I would hope, right? Like my thesis here is that you swept the liquidity down below. And maybe I'm biased because I waited so long for this that I just want this to be the low so bad. But regardless of my bias, it doesn't necessarily have to be the low. Easy answer, it depends. Shout out to Shubam. It's kind of a loaded question. Will it retest $2,000? I have no idea. Is it going to retest $2,000 today, tomorrow, in the next 5 minutes, in the next 2 weeks, ever again? So I would need a little bit more context to answer that accurately. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it absolutely can. Just because I think the low is in here or I'm long here does not mean that it is guaranteed never to come back down there. But I do like that we swept the liquidity. I like the SFPs that we have down here. I like the monthly naked point of control tapped. So I would prefer not to see $2,000 tapped again. But at the end of the day, it's definitely possible. But I would need just a little more information to kind of hammer in an accurate answer. Let's see. Shout out to John Cena. John Cena! In the chat. Jason Statham is the name of the actor. I don't know if they misspelt Jason Statham because it's literally Jason Stratham. I don't know if it's a joke or something. I don't know. But apparently that's the code. Let's see. Shout out the stupid Bitcoin said, no problem, Shubam. Yeah, I would say like probably not today. I wouldn't think it's going to retest 2,000. But I personally am hoping the low is in, but that doesn't guarantee it. If it comes back down, I'll reassess the situation. But really, it's just really hard call to make at this point. Yeah, money flow coming up. I would think if you are going to retest 2,000, it probably happens later than sooner. But I could be wrong. Okay, yeah, shout out to Ishmael. I was going to say, it wouldn't be unlike CryptoFace to spell it on purpose as a joke. That's what I figured. Shout out to Jason Statham. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so let's continue on here. We took a look at ADA. Let's take a look at Sheeb, and then we'll take a look at Polka Dot. Will Polka Dot ever make a comeback? Yes, Jason Stratham is the code. I want to know the joke now. What is the joke? Is he that's pretty funny. I actually just saw a funny Instagram reel. I don't know who it is. Some guy does impersonations, and he did a Jason Statham impersonation. It was hilarious. I'm not going to try to redo it because I'll butcher it. Yeah, 50% off is absolutely worth it, guys. And that's coming from someone who has a code. Go get the 50% discount. Please, for the love of God. Like, 50% off Market Cypher is cheap. They don't do that very often. But shout out to Crypto Face, the real GOAT, man. Let's see. The joke is that he has a package for you. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so let's continue on here. I don't hate the money flow here on Ethereum. I really don't hate it. I really don't hate the money flow here on Ethereum on the 3-hour. Hopefully that pushes us into the golden pocket. I pray. I hope. But yeah, let's Bitcoin continue to push up. Come on, baby. Hit that 786. Give it to us. Shout out to Michael, said you're gonna have to watch the last Crypto Face stream. Hilarious. I'll have to do that. Shout out to Crypto Face. I haven't caught a face stream in a while. I'm due for one, to be honest. I gotta come say what's up next time he's live. But let's continue on here. Let's check out Sheeb. Haven't taken a look at Sheeb. Whoops. Haven't taken a look at Sheeb in quite some time. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's take a look. All right, so Sheeb. Okay, so you got your daily green dot printing. Yeah, to your bodies, you have a bodies of the candles have daily bullish divergences. Double green dot, double green dot. That's not too shabby. Right into your value area high, which is key support. 2-day green dot and bullish divergence also printing. I will say this, money flow is still looking bearish. Money flow is still coming out. However, 2-day bull divs are typically pretty bullish for the altcoins, guys, if I'm being honest, right? If you look at this, daily bullish divergence, higher lows, lower lows. And again, this is on your bodies as well. Not on your, this is actually a very similar situation. A very similar situation, right? Big old wick, big liquidation wick. Your bodies come down to give you the lower lows on your price action, and that prints your bull div on the daily into your value area high. Boom, back up to the value area low. Resistance, 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 resistance. Finally, you flip it. POC, value area high perfectly. I love that. Rejection, back to the POC, little bounce. Back to the value area low. Another deviation, big liquidation wick, bullish divergence on the daily or 2-day into your value area high. Sheeb to whatever this number is in 2 minutes. It's going to happen right now. Guaranteed Lambo candle up to this level. I'm just kidding. But I will say, 2-day bullish divergences are typically pretty good for the altcoins, for whatever reason, specifically 2-day bull divs. Now, I will say this, a little bit of a different situation. Here, you had bullish divergence on the daily, or 2-day. Money flow was already in the red, starting to cross up, right? And your daily in that situation, yeah, you had the daily bullish divergence as well, and your money flow was trending up at the time. So, little bit of a different situation here just because money flow is still coming out pretty aggressively here, right? Remember money flow if you're new here. Okay, that's not what I wanted. No! Okay, I was just showing the Discord. I didn't want I didn't know what I had behind that screen. I didn't want to leak my social security number. It was just the Discord, but let me just fire up TradingView real quick. Let's see. Let's see. Shout out to Crypto Billy said, are you staking your dot, Frankie? I am not staking my dot. I'm not going to lie, guys. I am, okay, we're back up and running here. I'm not going to lie. I probably leave a lot of money on the table for not staking stuff. There's not a specific reason I don't do it. It's just, I don't know. I got a lot of stuff going on. I focus on the chart so much. I probably do leave a lot of money on the table not staking, though. Or at least for Polkadot, because I've been holding it for quite some time. Let's see. Okay. But either way, yeah, I'm definitely leaving some money on the table. That is for sure. But I don't. It's simple answer. I don't. I probably should, though. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So, a little bit of a different situation here on Sheep at this point, right? You have your bullish divergence, but again, the 2-day money flow is obviously coming out, right? Now, I would really like this a bit better if we were already in a massive red wave and we were starting to trend up, right? Like, this does look a little better when you have that big red wave. So, maybe it doesn't look as good, but you are getting a very similar signal. So if you could remain above this value area high and this 2-day bull div does print, you could look for a push to the upside. Biggest level of resistance, if you can get through all the Fibonacci retracements, would be the value area low, which is going to be a doorway to higher prices. I can't guarantee that we're going to get there, but doorway to higher prices, bada boom. That's what I'd be looking at. Flip that to support. Look to go to the POC, flip that POC / golden pocket, which is this still, it's still the low. Look to start your journey up to the value area high. Exactly the same, very same thesis as we had down here, right? Look to go to the high, resistance until proven otherwise, get back in, POC, value area high. Full rotation of the range, you lose it, daily bull div, get back up, resistance until proven otherwise, get above it, POC, value area high. So again, it's going to be impossible to call every single little up and down there, but that is generally what I would look for in the bullish case, assuming 2-day money flow comes up. If not, I'd be very careful, and I would be looking at this more as a, if you can make it up here and you are in a long position, I'd probably be taking some profit if that money flow is not yanking up to the upside again. If it's, kind of just wiggling down here in the red and you're getting a move to the upside, that would be a sign to me that you're probably going to put in some lower highs and continue down. First, local level of resistance I would look at for a lower high would be sitting right here. Boom. Right? You could potentially put a lower high in there, come down. But once you flip that 786, I'm looking at that value area low. So yeah, 2-day bull div on Sheep. Let's see if it can give us anything. Printing, not confirmed. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, it's okay, Jesse. Frankie will accept $999 if you're like a cop. You don't know. Quit. Be charming, funny. Never take no for an answer. No. Make them like. Lives depend on it. Be a cop. Be like a cop. Be a man. Shout out to Creighton C. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Shout out to Jesse, our like police, too. And shout out to Dave Digital. What is going on, bro? Welcome in. Let's see. His full name is Frankie Lambo-worthy Candle. Shout out to Wick589. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's see. I could see POC pump to make head and shoulders. Potentially. We'll have to see. Shout out to the Rising Sun said, Frankie, can you tell me how many marriages and children I will have? Thank you. I appreciate it. Also, when I will die and who I will resurrect as. Shout out to the Rising Sun. Well, you're unfortunately not going to be resurrected as a person. You're going to be resurrected as the sun. So shout out to you. And I think, hang on one second. Let me check the crystal ball real quick. Hang on. Yeah, you're going to have, hey man, one marriage. You're going to meet the love of your life and 2 kids. I'm not going to tell you the genders. I'm going to leave that a surprise. So 2 kids, 1 marriage. Let's go. Let's go, bro. That's success in my book. Shout out to you. Let's see. Quick question, Frankie. With the news event on and the money flow coming up across the board, fishy question mark. Would CVD tell us if it's just a pump and dump? Shout out to Justin. Something we could look at with the CVD is we could try to spot the like a potential short squeeze. But when I use CVD, I'm typically using it more on like a local stamp, like a local situation where I'm waiting for price to kind of wiggle into the Fibonacci retracements, look for a little bit of a CVD divergence, and then that's where I look for maybe a short position if it's bearish CVD, or if I'm looking for bullish CVD into, say, a local golden pocket or something like that. It's really local that I'm looking at that as like some kind of an entry signal. It's actually funny enough, part of why I looked to take this scalp long in the premium Discord, right? As we were coming into, I believe it was the long. Where is it? Right, we were coming into this local golden pocket 786, and I believe it was the long. Yeah, local bullish CVD into the local fib retracement. So typically, that CVD is like being formed like here. So it would really be if we're hitting key levels on that news, that's where I'd be paying attention to the CVD. Unless I were looking to spot some kind of a short squeeze or a long squeeze or something like that, you could look at that by. I have a video showing you how to spot short squeezes on the channel. I believe it's in the beginner series. If you're looking at like spot CVD versus future CVD, there's certain things that you can look for to try to spot a short squeeze or a long squeeze. So you could try to do something like that. But for me personally, I like to look for like local bullish and bearish CVD just to find entries for scalps, or even just day trades. Let's see. Shout out to Empire Trade, said my prediction is 69K now. Fall. Let's go. Unfortunately, yeah, I would rather have a pump just because I'm in the longs, but 69K. Oh God, I would not. 69K is ugh, God. I'm definitely not saying it's not possible, but that would be brutal. Let's see. Shout out to Eugene Sky said lurking. Pennywise is lurking. Is Pennywise really in the chat right now? Lurking? Oh man. I could snipe people in the chat. I love it. It's funny. I can see who's in chat if you're lurking. I love it. It's really funny. It's like I think the 4 times we've ever gotten like real haters. I love it because they're like, TA is garbage. It doesn't do anything. And then like I just check the chat at the end of the stream and they're still there. And I'm like, dang, I guess that's weird. TA's garbage, but you stayed for the whole stream. Let's see. Penny, where are you? Shout out to Pennywise, our favorite friendly clown. Love lurking. Shout out to the Rising Sun. Yeah, you guys never know. I'm always searching. I've heard of lurking, but not in this context. Shout out to Wick 589. Dodge that bullet. Bearish on yelling at wifey with 1,000 people watching. Red candles. Shout out to New World Disorder. Mrs. Candles. I just got to get a hand sniff in. But anyway, we took a look at Sheep. We took a look at ADA. Let's take a look at DOT. Polka Dot. Here we are. I mean, I'll be honest, like Polka Dot has just been wiggling around. We have not taken a look at Polka Dot in quite some time. Would you short BTC at the 786, Frankie, or you think it has potential to go higher? I'm in long from your premium Discord. Thanks. Can you please check out Doge? Shout out to Saqib, shout out to you, bro. Congrats, and appreciate you for being in the kitchen, bro. I'm glad it's able to help you get into that position. But yeah, for the 786 on Bitcoin, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty tempted. To take a short. And really, the only reason now is because I have closed my shorts in full. I decided to lock in the money. I was up over 5 figures on the short positions from 102 and 99K. So I decided to just lock those in and then just find some new positions. So at this point, right, I am not hedged with a short position, right? I tried to take a short earlier today, got stopped out for a small loss. Long continued to play out. So I am a little bit tempted to take a short, right? We do have bearish divergences, right? Again, I'm not telling anybody to short Bitcoin right now. I am personally not short, but higher highs on your price action, lower highs on your momentum waves. You also have your money flow coming out on the 12-minute. Your 15 minutes a little bit, you have the 15-minute bull div now as well, bear div as well. 15-minute money flow trying to work its way out here. And then your 4-hour VWAP is also starting to roll over here, right? So if you could get that red dot on the 4-hour with the 15-minute and 12-minute money flow coming out into the red, 3-hour money flow, 3-hour VWAP coming down as well. No bear div here, but with the 4-hour red dot and the 3-hour red dot with the 12 and 15-minute money flow coming out and the low time frame bearish divergences printing, I am tempted to like even take a shot here with a tight stop loss, right? Like if I were to take this, right, I would take something like this. right? Maybe, I mean, two ways you could do it, right? I don't typically like to have that big of a stop loss. I like to take a bigger position size with a tighter stop, get stopped out, and then just look for a new entry. But I am tempted, right? Like this is our resistance zone that we are looking for shorts in. So I am tempted with these bear divs confirmed to maybe take a stab with a tight stop, and then maybe again at the 786. But it would be a very tight stop loss, right? And the long would cover my losses plus profit like a mofo, as some people would say. But, you know, it's really choppy price action. There's been a couple times that I've been looking to like, oh, maybe I'll head short. I already did once today, got stopped out. And there were a couple more times where I looked to head short, didn't, and price just kept pushing up. So it's best like when that happens, you don't want to just like keep trying to take a stab every 5 minutes and just get stopped out 10 times. I like to sit on my hands. If I have to catch a retracement, a breakdown and a retracement, I can. But I'm not going to lie. I am tempted, right? As we are at resistance with bearish divergences, money flow coming out with the corresponding red dots looking to print. Let's see. Shout out to Help said, imagine shorting this. Shout out to Imagine. That's what they said when we shorted $102,000. I made like 15 grand on that move on one of them. So, you know, it's all contextual, right? It's ETH pumping. Yeah. And yeah, it would be looked at as a hedge, right? Because I am just long here. The only trade I'm holding right now is this ETH long, now up almost $3,000, right? Started this up 1,000 at the beginning of the stream, and now we're up 2,800, baby. Let's go. Let's go over on Femex. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. What are you feeling about the summit Friday? Shout out to Joel. I don't really take that stuff into super, super big consideration. Hopefully it's bullish. Hopefully it sends us to the moon. But I don't really make my trading decisions based off of that. They will dump it before the summit. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, I am only long right now. So that's kind of why I'm looking to hedge. I wouldn't really mind taking a stab at a short, right? Because if it gets stopped out, this is gonna pay me out way more than I will get stopped out of on that trade. Let's see. Shout out to Crypto Independent. Said, what is your leverage, Frankie? Shout out to Crypto Independent. 10x. That is on a 10x position. I got almost 17,000 in margin on 10x. So it's almost $170,000 position. Shout out to David. Said, me too, Frankie. I'm also stupidly long. Yeah. I mean, I was holding my short from 102K, but there was just not a lot. I prefer to just close the trade and find a new position, to be honest, rather than just add to the position. It really depends on the specific trade, but yeah, it keeps grinding up on low volume. Yeah, we'll see. TA is good, but news are over the TA at that point, and with the meeting on Friday is a bad move to short right now, in my opinion. Shout out to Crypto Algorithm. Potentially. At the end of the day, right? Like, there's really no bad, right? Like, if you want to take a shot at a short or a long, whatever it is, right? Like, as long as you're not, right? Like, I think a lot of people, it's really funny. Like some people will come in and be like, "Wow, this guy's an idiot. He's longing," right? Or, "Wow, this guy's an idiot. He's shorting," right? But like, these are just people that don't understand how trading works, right? Like, when I long, right? Like, if I were to short this right now, right? It is with a trading plan, right? Like, let's say I were to short Bitcoin right now, right? There's for sure technical reasons to look for a short, right? If this doesn't go my way, right? Or if it didn't go my way, right? I didn't enter it, but if I did, right? If this stops me out, I will take a very small loss, a very small controlled loss. And if we continue to pump, say up to the 786, very likely Ethereum is making its move up to its next level as well, right? So like I would probably lose between like $150 and $250 on stopping out of that short. And at that point, the ETH long would probably be up $4,000, maybe $5,000, right? So it's all about risk management. And, you know, it's I think a lot of new people who are like either new to crypto or new to trading think that like when you short, it means like you only think price is going to go down and you have no other plan or no other trades open or no other option. You're just saying like, I'm short, so this has to go down or I'll get wrecked. That's not how trading works, right? So, you know, once you're able to understand that, like you'll realize how comments like that or just like anyone who says something like that, it's more of like it more like exposes that they're misinformed or just not informed on how trading works, right? Like I'm long too, but does that mean that I'm just going to get absolutely wrecked and lose all my money if it goes down? Absolutely not, right? Like that's why I make money trading is because I don't trade like that. But a lot of people think it's like they gamble, right? So it's just like they're betting on it either going up or going down. But that's not how trading works at all. So yeah. Let's see. TA over the news. Yeah, every single time. I don't. Yo, shout out to Shabam says, Frankie, you told us yesterday that you forgot a stop loss on your long trade on BTC. Yeah, shout out. That is true. I got super lucky though. It's a pretty funny story actually. If we dumped down to 76K yesterday, I would have gotten wrecked for like 14 grand. But that would have been my fault, right? Like that's how like almost none of my trades are ever like that, right? That is just I got distracted. I never really put myself in this situation, but yesterday for some reason, or 2 days ago, I just got distracted. I thought I had the stop loss set. I didn't double check it before I left the computer, and I got stuck in that trade for a while. But luckily, we came back up, and I wound up closing it in like $1,500 in profit. So, but off as straight luck, right? Not because like I'm a ninja, just because it was lucky. I could have totally, I would have cut that loss before it got down to 15 grand. But if I didn't pay attention and I got liquidated on that trade, I would have gotten absolutely toasted. Now again, like it wouldn't have been like, it wouldn't have ruined my life or anything. But it definitely would have hurt the account. He said, I also forgot to set a stop loss, and I'm currently in a loss on the short side. I'm not as lucky as you. Shout out to Shubam. Yeah. I do recommend like not trying to just hold it blindly, hoping for it to go back into profit. But in my case, there was TA saying that we could continue up, so I decided to hold it. Bitcoin dumping, not really. I wouldn't say so. I don't know if you're saying dumping right now. I mean, we just dumped like 77.77%. And yeah, this is the other thing too, right? Like sometimes a short, right? Like please understand, right? That like this little move here, right? Like this, let's say we go down here, right? To 1%, 1% move. Like I could be short on Bitcoin. This is why I never recommend like anybody try to come into my stream and just like copy trade me, right? Because like if I say I'm short, sometimes depending on the context, like I could be short from here to here and then jumping out and making the money, right? And then after that, I'm bullish again, right? I am a trader. Right, so like if you come in and I'm short, definitely not a signal for you to just like go short with no context. But yeah. Anyway, let's continue on. I barely watch the news. Just PMB and Randy. Shout out to Lasers. Yeah, I mean to be honest, the news is just like anytime there's bearish news or bullish news, I am usually long or short from way higher, way before the news, or long from way lower and before the news. And it's not that the TA creates the news. It's just that very often there are signs on the, I mean, it's just like, there's just always signs on the chart before the news comes in, right? Like for example, right, we were looking for longs here. This is good for educational purposes. We were looking for longs down here forever in the premium Discord, right? Forever. Before we ever got the big move down, before we ever even got close to breaking this range, we have been looking at this level for a long. That brought us down to about $80,000, a little lower, right? This is where we were looking for the long. And then where did that news come out? Right there, right? So at the end of the day, right, like, sure, could you hear bullish news or whatever and then try to ride the move up? Yes, but look what happened, right? It was a fake out, right? You get the push up and then an absolute dump. But anyone who was long and down here is still safe. Right? So, show me the charts. I'm looking for longs, guys. I'm looking for longs. Show me the charts and then let the news fill in the blank, right? You can't long here and be like, oh, I bet you bullish news is going to come out. That's not really how it works. But, we didn't know any news down here. We were just going off the technicals. And as a matter of fact, from here to there, right, after the bullish news came out, right, we were literally long from the bottom. So, it's just, and again, you can't, I could never trade news, right? Like, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean anything or it doesn't affect the market at all. Obviously it does, right? There's a reason why I don't like to trade very heavily on FOMC unless I'm like aggressively, trying to trade the volatility. There's a reason, right? Because like that news, right? Like when you're watching FOMC and, J-Pow's up there, talking his thing and, he's going to be moving those charts, right? But, for something, that's kind of a specific scenario. For the most part, show me the charts, I'll tell you the news every single time. Yeah, who is watching the news telling people when to push each narrative? I want to copy trade that a-hole. Shout out to Michael, Marv, and Mabry. Yeah, for sure. I don't think that's how it works, but yeah, it's like, how does it happen, right? I don't know. Most likely, right? Like this market is filled with manipulation, right? So, It's hard to say. TA is magic is kind of what I go with. But anyway, let's continue on here. Let's take a look at Polkadot. We kind of got onto Polkadot and then left it. But let's take a look. Bada boom, bada bing. Let me just make sure I got all my stuff running here. Okay, cool. Let's see. Take a look at Polkadot, right? So we haven't taken a look at Polkadot in quite some time, but let's see how she has been holding up. So let me just mark out this value area low real quick because that line is gone. And I'll mark out the POC as well. Okay, so just make sure I got these levels right. So from the low to the high. Yeah, all right, so cool. We got to push into the golden pocket. We got the bounce, right? And then, once you lose that golden pocket, you're going to be anticipating the 786, right? That's where we're bouncing from. POC 786. I'm going to get rid of the blue boxes, right? I'll leave that one on there because that's where we're bouncing from. You front ran that value area high, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, front ran the value area high, held the 786. You're tapping against your key level of resistance, which is the value area high, the range. Now, taking a look at our money flow, right? 1 hour money flow, trying to come up into the green here slightly. Excuse me. Yeah, trying to come up here into the green. 2 hour money flow is playing around with, crossing over into the green. 4 hour money flow crossing over into the green. So yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, guys, like a lot of the money flow is coming up on a lot of time frames, right? Like between the 3 hour, like even the 80 and the 90 minute, but 3 hour money flow coming up, 4 hour money flow coming up, 5 hour money flow trying to work its way up. These aren't enough to write home about, but yeah, some money flow is coming up, right? Daily green dot is looking to print. I don't hate that with the 90-minute money flow working its way up here. But you are at resistance, right? So, you could get some short-term volatility here. But once you break out, next big key level on Polkadot is going to be 490. This is the key level to break above in order to get your bigger move up into your golden pocket 786, right? Now, if we take a look at the higher time frames, do we have any significant bullish divergences? Yeah, I mean, that dang 2-day. Lower lows on your price action into your 786 golden pocket. You could print that 2-day green dot, guys. I'll say it. 2-day bull div. Now, again, money flow still not looking the prettiest here, if I'm being quite honest, right? You're still coming down here with your money flow. However, if you print that 2-day bull div, do you have it on the daily? Yeah, daily bull div about to print as well. If we could print that daily bull div, I think you could push up a little bit more. Key level of resistance above is going to be 490. Break above that, flip it to support. I'd look for a push up into your golden pocket, sitting at about 546. 786 sitting at 591. And if you can get above all that, look for a push into the POC. Now, again, I'm not guaranteeing that you could just long right here and send this thing to the POC. You got to break out of this first range, right? And you are at the value area high, right? This is typically where we look for shorts. Right? I actually don't hate that you're kind of just bing-bonging around up here. Slapping against the resistance. Boom, boom, boom. More times you tap on the door, the more likely it is to open. So if you could break out here, again, lower time frame, similar to Bitcoin, right? Might be looking for downside. Money flow coming out. But overall, maybe you get that low time frame volatility, right? Maybe you get little pullbacks here and there. But if you could break out here, look to shoot up towards that 490 value area low. And then once you get above that, that's a big doorway to higher prices. Last time we broke above that doorway to higher prices, broke above it, flipped it to support. Everyone's calling for a bear market, right? It's crazy. Like you get one little dump, everyone's like, oh my God, bear market. How could you long that? Boom. Push it up to the POC value area high and beyond. So, we're just kind of in that same situation here. Just below, we were below the volume profile. Everyone thought it was dead. We spotted a short squeeze. Boom, 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 boom. Slap to the upside. And then, yeah, we're just kind of down here. Now, I do actually want to pull up a clean Polkadot chart real quick. Where's it at? Bada boom. That's not a clean chart. Let me just go ahead and hide all our TA real quick. And I do want to. Yeah, I actually want to hide all this, and I want to pull up these local levels, right? Because you do have this kind of like local range forming, right? So this is like a good way that you could look at this. Local volume profile. These are levels I'm going to keep an eye on. So you have your value area low sitting at 451, POC sitting at 472, and your value area high at 512. So deviation below the low, back in, flip the POC, go to the high. Hit the low, flip the POC, go to the high. Hit the low, flip the POC, go to the high. Deviate above the high, go to the POC, go to the low. Deviate above the high, get sucked into the range, go to the POC, go to the low, deviation, back to the high, deviation, back to the POC, back to the low, deviation, back to the value area low, back to the POC, back to the high, right? So like this is how we trade these volume profiles. Deviations above the highs for the shorts, deviation below the lows for the longs. So longs, 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 longs. I don't know. Money flow coming up on the 4 hour. I don't hate it. Checking those lower time frame. I would have loved like a 30-minute bull div down here. Yeah. Bull div confirmed. Money flow crossing into the green. I would say, kind of similar to what we looked at, just a different context. Instead of looking at this as breaking out of your local value area high, you could just look at this as a break above your value area low. POC at 472. Value area high at 512. So this is actually, I don't hate that, right? Deviation below the low. Bullish divergences, money flow comes up. If you anticipate this trend to continue up, flip that value area low, look for the POC and the value area high. Not too shabby, not too shabby. And then you can see how close in confluence that value area low and that value area high are, right? So you can look at it as breaking out of the range or breaking in to the new range. So you flip that value area high to support, you're also flipping the value area low of the upper range to support, which is your doorway to higher prices. If you have no idea what I'm looking at here, guys, hit the beginner series and learn about the volume profile. It's a very, very simple, one of the most simple trading strategies that you could possibly use. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking at on Polkadot in the macro and the short term as well. That'd be nice. Get another fill of that range. And I don't hate that medium time frame money flow. 5 hour, not really. 4 hour crossing into the green. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see. Shout out to Alex O. What is going on, bro? Welcome in. He says, I thought breast is best. Hashtag baby otter. Shout out to Alex. I assume that's a reference to the little Bambino. But hey, shout out to Alex. That's out of context. Let's see. Shout out to Alex that hit up the beginner series. All Frankie's stuff is fire. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Alex O Crypto. But real quick, guys, I do want to I'll take a quick look at shout out to Jesse said all the lurkers are gone. Jesse, how do you know if the lurkers are here or not? Everybody's showing face now. Who was the lurker? Who was lurking? Let me know. Let me just take a look. I want to take a look at VeChain. Somebody requested VeChain. I will take a look at it real quick. Haven't taken a look at VeChain in quite some time as either. But let's come up here, update the chart a bit. 786 did not hold, unfortunately. Golden Pocket obviously didn't hold. Whoops. Boom. Get rid of these local fibs. Could even pretty much get rid of this local. So yeah, let me take a look at this. Value area high. POC. And the value area low. So yeah, I mean at this point, right, you've impulsed out of your main volume profile or your upper volume profile. Is this, oh yeah, we're on the 3-day. I was like, why does this not go back very far? So yeah, there's your 2021 bull market highs, right? This doorway to higher prices is absolutely key. Will continue to be absolutely key. And yeah, I mean, I wish that this was like holding a macro 786. Maybe it's holding it from the absolute low, potentially. Yeah, I mean, you could look at this potentially. I don't really love it. But yeah, you're trying to hold the 786. So if you take a look at the 2-day, you do have, come on. Yeah, I just kind of guessed. Confirmed bullish divergences into the 786. It's a sticky situation, right? Because at the end of the day, you're back inside this lower volume profile. You've broken down. You got sucked into the range. Bearish retest. At this point, the next key level to look for is going to be the POC at about 0.023 cents. Lose the POC, look to go back down to the value area low. And like I said, I really only like to look for longs if we can come down towards the value area low. But if you hold the 786 and you're able to break out, it is an area where you could put in a higher low and continue the trend to the upside. It's a bit difficult to call. I don't love longs when you're sitting right below key resistance. Flip that to support. But 2-day bull div is confirmed. Hasn't really given you much just yet. Daily bullish divergence is also confirmed. I don't love that it hasn't given you a big push to the upside just yet. But all your higher time frame VWAPs are printing green dots, right? 4-day green dot, 5-day green dot, 6-day looking for the green dot, weekly also looking for the green dot potentially soon, but money flow still looks like garbage. Weekly money flow in the red, 5-day money flow trying to work its way back up, 4-day money flow coming right out, getting rejected at the 0 line. So, I'll just give the key levels here. Key level to get above to the upside is, let me just pull some fibs here, see if we have any confluence. Okay, so that's obvious. Yeah, I mean, I would say get out of this volume profile. I would love to look for a bigger target up here towards the value area low. Again, sitting at 0.058 cents. But you got to get out of here, right? Because if you get the pump and you get stuck in this range, like POC is likely, lose the POC, value area low is likely. So kind of a hard situation here on VeChain, if I'm being quite honest with you. Daily green dot confirmed. Let's check that 90-minute money flow. Yeah, 1 hour money flow crossing into the green, 4 hour money flow crossing over into the green, or looking for a crossover. I say more chop probably coming forward or moving into the future here, in the recent future. Or near future is what I should say. So I think you probably chop around. Key level of support down below, POC at 0.023. Value area low, I don't know if you're going to make it all the way back down there, but 0.017. And then your value area high is your key level to get out of, to potentially get out of here and see a bigger move up into 5 almost 6 cents. You got to break out above about 3 cents, 0.032. So get above the value area high. That's your best bet to see a bigger move up into the bigger key level. But that's if you get stuck in here, I'm just looking to respect this range. Simply put, market cypher's a little chopped up on this. So yeah, I think you chop around a little bit more. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh, yo, shout out to Alex O. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Oh no, hang on. Let's go. Shout out to Alex O. Gifting the 5 Frankie Candles memberships. Let's go. Drop a thank you in the chat for Alex O Crypto. I appreciate you, bro. And I know all the people that just got those memberships. Shout out to the Dominican Crypto, Jaws777, Deepak, and stupid Bitcoin. You tricked me. I thought you got a membership, but it says, is a purple Lambo lurking? Shout out to stupid Bitcoin. I hope a purple Lambo is lurking. I'll go outside and start driving it. Shout out to Starchild. Starchild also got that membership. So shout out to Alex O. I appreciate you so much, bro. Thank you. Shout out to Right Retro Mike Tech. What is going on, bro? Dave Digital says when BTC. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Just making sure I don't miss anything in chat. All in all, Bears getting wrecked after getting cooked. Shout out to Victor. Let's go. Cook the Bears, baby. Cook the Bears. I'm long now, so please, for the love of God, if we could cook the Bears, that would be absolutely beautiful. And hey, did our alert go off on Ethereum? Did we not hit that? Wasn't 2250? How come we did not get that alert? Weird. Started the stream right here. Looked for the shot up into the 786 at 2250, and we had the alert, and it didn't go off. Unless you guys saw it go off, and I missed it. But we'll see. We'll see. No pump, only dump. Shout out to Empire. I hope not. Wick says, Mike, also a banger. Dang, make a playlist, bro. Shout out to Wick589. I'm lost on that. We going much lower. Shout out to Jay Hundo. I think it's in the cards. I do think it's in the cards. Only lurkers smash the like button. Shout out to Jesse. Can we look at H-bar? Shout out to Joe Mama. Yeah, let's take a quick look at H-bar. Let me just double check on. Yep, long still going good. Let's check the H-bar going to 0. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Murga. Says long fart coin. Someone's going to pump it. Got to take a look at this. Should we take financial advice from the chat? Should we take financial advice from the chat, guys? Let me know. Should I long fart coin right now on 100x leverage? Should I do it? Does Blowfin have fart coin? They do. I'll do it, guys. I'll do it. I ain't scared. I ain't scared. Oh, man, they limit your size so much on altcoins. I don't know why. No, I love it. I love the nose in the chat. I absolutely love that. Let's go. CandleMafia smart money. High key. High key. The Mafia ain't dumb money. I love it. I love it. Mafia smart money. Some people saying do it. I might do it for the content, but I love the nose in the chat. I love the nose in the chat. Light fart coin on fire. It's just like that's the plan. They come in here and say someone's going to pump it because they want me to long it. Let's see. Oh, by the way, guys, if you're trading over on MEXC, I think we have this in the announcement section of the Discord. Not that I think we have the link in the description down below as well. Do we have it here? Yes, we do have a MEXC promo going on here, guys. So yeah, they're doing it in the form of futures bonuses, which is essentially just free money to trade with. Obviously, you can't just deposit money and then withdraw the free $500, but they give you free money. If you deposit $2,500, you'll get $500 in futures bonuses on MEXC. You could trade with this money. Obviously, you can't just withdraw it, but any profit you make on that money, you are able to withdraw. So it just beefs up your position sizes, or you can look at it as $500 to lose on a trade without chewing into your actual capital. So check that out. I was supposed to look over this before we went live to make sure. I don't know how many spots do we have. Tony, is it limited spots? New Year's is only 25%, $5,000 futures bonus. So yeah, there you go. Or is it up to $5,000 that they're giving away? Tony, if you could drop some details in the chat so everybody knows. But yeah, if you're trading over on MEXC, you can check that out. We do have a deal going with them. Thank you for Tony for coordinating that and helping out the Mafia. Also, guys, if you use the MEXC link or any of our other affiliate links, you will get access to the dining room where you kind of get a little peek into what we do in the premium Discord. You get one post per week. Obviously, we do it daily in the premium, but it's kind of like a free trial once a week for you get one post per week, sometimes two. Really depends on how active the trading is, depending on the price action. But yeah, come in here. We got a bunch of super valuable channels here. We have an altcoin alpha channel, token metrics channel. We got a bunch of good stuff in here, so come check it out. And yeah, take advantage of that bonus if you guys do wish so. Let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on here. I do want to take a look at, I'm just going to go ahead and undo here because I forgot what we were looking at. H-bar. Okay, let's take a look here. Bada boom, bada bing. Fart coin dumping. Unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, listen, looking very similar to a lot of other stuff, right? 6-hour money flow crossing into the green, 5-hour trying to come up, 4-hour money flow crossing into the green. I mean, if we look at this, we did make a new low here. So yeah, I mean, at this moment, right? Let me see. You're back above the 786. That's somewhat nice. I mean, at this point, right? Let's zoom out a bit. Yeah, I mean, you got your value area above. This is, I mean, the resistance pretty much remains the same. I did have to move that fib slightly, but basically the levels are the same. You rejected the golden pocket in the 786. This could have been your lower high, right? However, money flow is trending in the right direction. So if you are able to continue up here, look to flip this golden pocket value area low, and then I would look to come into this range and potentially fill it in full. If this money flow is going to continue up, 16-hour money flow coming up, 10-hour money flow getting very close to crossing up above that zero line to cross into the green. Yeah, what's that daily doing? Ugh. I don't like the 90-minute money flow coming out with the daily red dot incoming. That is not the best. Yeah, I don't love that. It's not like, yeah. It kind of looks choppy, to be honest. But the levels are clear. If you break above the value area low / golden pocket, I would look for a push into the POC 786. Flip that 786 POC. I would look for a push into the value area high. And then, if you're looking for a potential retracement, if you do continue down, I would probably be looking at that golden pocket to potentially put in a higher low and continue up. But if you don't get the signals down here and you lose that 786, you're probably going to come a bit lower. Again, I don't really have some mixed signals here on Market Cypher, to be quite honest. Yeah, the only reason I don't like this 90-minute money flow, let's check the 80-minute. Yeah, 80-minute kind of coming out as well. 45-minute topping out here a little. Yeah, I just don't. We'll see. We'll see if you print that red dot. Watch that 90-minute money flow crossover because that could give you the bigger move down. But those are the key levels. Value area low at 26 cents. POC at 29 cents. The value area high at 31 cents. So that's pretty much what I would look at for H bar. And then again, even if you were to get a bigger breakdown, yeah, you've kind of already. Yeah, I would look. If you continue down, I would hope if you did come down, you hold this golden pocket for another move up. If you lose this golden pocket 786, I think you continue down. And at that point, your 90-minute money flow is probably crossing over into the red, and you're probably getting the bigger spill. But if you can continue up, 26 cents is the level to get above. Let's see. Does anybody know the actual code for the 50% off market cipher? Yeah, I think it's Jason Stratham. I think that's what it is. It's like Jason Statham, but with a STR. Stratham. But guys, what time is it? Oh my God, did we go over again, guys? Oh my God, I've been getting stuck on the charts here, guys. Breaking down the sauce for the Candle Mafia. But guys, with all that being said, we are out of time here. I did not realize we were running for over 2 hours. But yeah, smash that like button, guys. And let me just pull up OBS here so I can make sure I'm on my face cam. And let me just pull up good old Biddy here for a minute, 90,000. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if this thing pulls back from the, just understand, 15-minute bearish divergence confirmed, money flow coming out, 4-hour red dot looking to print. This could give us a little bit of a pullback. However, I'll even just share this really quick. This is what we're just looking at. Look, this is what we were just looking at, right? Higher highs on our price action, right? Bearish divergences, money flow crossing over into the red on the 12-minute. 15-minute is coming out pretty heavily. When you have that in confluence with the 4-hour red dot, sometimes it can give you a little correction. So if we do wind up seeing that correction come in, hopefully we could just continue the uptrend as our money flow is coming up on the 3-hour as well as the 2-hour. As well as the 1 hour, right? So if we can get that money flow to continue into the green, that would be good. Obviously, expect some noise off, even a 1 hour bearish divergence here. Higher highs, lower highs. You've also come up and swept the highs here. I'm very tempted to take a short here, if I'm being quite honest. I haven't taken it yet. But, you break down. They want to just hedge, right? Like, I don't even mind riding this into profit a little bit, right? And then moving my stop loss to break even. And then if it runs, it runs. If it stops me out, the long on ETH will continue to pay me out big time. But simply put, if this does not bring us down a lot, 92,250 is the next big target on Bitcoin. Hopefully we can get above there and see a bigger move up. But short term, I do think you can cool off just a little bit. Hopefully, just a little bit. But guys, with all that being said, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us till the end of the stream. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Pray for Bitcoin. Hopefully the correction doesn't bring us down too much and we can get above that value area low and continue to the upside. Until then, I'm going to be scalping these little choppy sections of price action until I run out of breath. And then for the most part, just waiting for those bigger targets that we looked at earlier in the stream for my bigger trades. But until then, I'm going to be in the Discord hanging out, looking for the trades. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Stream Deck Frozen. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Said, hit that dang like button for Frankie. Hashtag Mafia for life. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto. I appreciate you so much, bro. But with all that being said, thank you guys for being here. Shout out to Stupid Bitcoin. Shout out to Jesse, the Like Police. Shout out to Empire Trades, Johnny December, Crypto Billy, Joe Mama, Peter, Creighton C, Gen Z, in the ancient now, Dr. MTG, Eugene Sky, Emiliano Corona Galagiano. Shout out to you, bro. But yeah, 1 hour cup and handle to 93K. Let's go, baby. I hope so. That long will slap on ETH if that's the case. But with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here. 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. I'll see you guys next time. I love each and every single one of you. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. Next up, whose man's high? Through it all, I stay the same. I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right. I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life. I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose, and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the